Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, December 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 67. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners at 8 a.m. Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show at 9 a.m. and Holden Mayo talks to us at 9:15. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, everyone? Welcome in to another episode of OTB, Monday, December 18th, 2023. And, we missed you on Friday. It was nice to have a day off. Certainly wonderful after the company Christmas party. Shout out to the bosses. It was a fun Christmas party. Good time. Friday was great to get to chill out a little bit. And then it was a pretty fun weekend. We're going to recap it all. A lot of wins for the local team. Pelicans notching a couple more, looking really good while doing so. The Saints, as we'll discuss it feels a bit complicated, but the Saints putting together a dominant defensive performance and a pretty good offensive one and come out with their second win in a row as well. I will recap my time on stage a bit later in the program also, and we have some Pirtle news as LSU has continued to see people leave, see people come join, and the transfer portal never stops. We also got weekend winners. Nick Underhill is going to come on today because he has something to do tomorrow, and we'll talk to our guy Dem Snow for some spread lines. Let's go around the room, though, boys. What's up? How's everyone feeling? Jake, how's your weekend?
It was good. Family in town. Did Christmas early with them. A lot going on this time of year, so it was good to maybe have like an extra day, kind of get a lot of things kind of together there. And the portal is portaling for sure, not just for LSU, but for other teams in the SEC.
Never stops. Yeah, Ole Miss is hot.
Real hot.
Ole Miss is hot right now. I never thought that we would actually reach a point where you would have to say, is Ole Miss a preseason? Not even is Ole Miss a top 5 football team? Much less preseason, which if they end up landing Walter Nolan, and we can take a look at everybody else they've landed, that's a legitimate conversation. Crazy to think. Mario, how you feeling, dude?
Oh, feeling good, man. Saints game was fun yesterday. Got my Christmas shopping done, so happy about that. Good vibes over here, man.
And what about you, Taylor? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. My sister-in-law got engaged yesterday, so we had to go to an engagement party yesterday.
Lame.
It wasn't bad.
I'm just kidding. Congratulations, your sister-in-law. Wait, your sister-in-law got engaged?
Yeah, my wife's older sister.
There we go. Okay, my brain wasn't working. Yeah, I was trying to figure out the math. I was thinking that you had to get married for somebody to become your sister. But you did. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, and it was nice meeting Victoria at the Christmas party.
Yep.
And I explained to her that I only, constantly talk down and belittle your husband out of love. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go?
It went well. We're gonna make fun of Taylor more today
she doesn't listen to the show, so it's not that big of a deal.
We're gonna make fun of Taylor more today because the Cowboys are
another
awful.
one.
They did. They lost.
The Cowboys are awful. Josh Allen had to throw it like 7 times or whatever.
7 completions.
It wasn't even close. All right, so we got a lot to get to here. What did y'all think about Nutcracker? Oh.
Hold up now. You can't act like we didn't want to come.
Okay.
You told us we couldn't come.
No. Check the tape. I said you couldn't be boisterous. Mar, your excuse sent me a very nice text message, and he had to call a Saints game.
I mean,
Taylor?
I was kind of excused as well because my sister-in-law was in a play.
Wow.
She got proposed to at the very end of it, and then
that's
the
right. I forgot about
engagement
that.
party was after, and the play was at like 3. So.
Oh, wait, that's cool, though. Wait, so I forgot. I remember you saying that you were going to the play.
Yeah.
So
he
it happened
proposed to
at
her.
the end?
They were both in it together.
Oh, wow.
They were
that's
Mr. and
fantastic.
Mrs. Claus, and then he did it at the very end.
Well, as a fellow member of the theater, I can certainly appreciate the relationships formed within a production. So it's a tale as old as time, isn't it? And Jake, what's your excuse? Huh?
I don't have anyone to watch the children. I was actually
Couldn't bring the
supposed
kids
to go.
like everybody else who brought kids to the family. I told so many people you were coming. I hope you're happy.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't tell
I was like, Jay, no, I told literally probably 8 to 10 people within the production that the Hesters were going to be there with their
such a
kids.
liar.
Not even lying.
We're supposed to go to the LSU end of the year football banquet too. Could make that.
Well, that sounds kind of like the one with like the players and everything.
Yeah, it's a little different now though. It's not like the one when you and it's more of like an award show.
I was going to say, but that was like, because back in the day, that was a very private event. That was just like for teammates and like members of the team and everything.
Our boy PB actually hosted it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thanks for coming out, guys.
I tell you what.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Next time when I'm in the Nutcracker, you don't have to come.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to be in it for years because I am absolutely obsessed. And it was like the most fun thing ever.
You seem pretty pleased with your performance. Was it like clean, no mistakes?
Yeah. I thought so. I thought it was clean. I think clean is a good way to describe it, right? I don't think I can speak to the quality of it because I've only seen snippets of it. It's not like anybody films it or anything. And again, I'm a rank amateur, but clean, right? I almost tripped, I think, once, got away, maybe stepped on my wife's dress once. She did not fall, so disasters were avoided. No major gaffes in terms of steps. I will say this, the first performance, your boy's heart was hammering out of his chest. Very nervous, felt like pregame. And then, even then, it's like, okay, normally in a football game, you get that first hit in you, and you're like good to go, right?
Yeah.
But early on in this, there's a little pause, or basically got to pause for like 20 or 30 seconds. And as I was paused, I was like, ooh, boy, I was going through it a little bit. But we made it. The second performance, I was chilling. It was so much fun, dude.
How long were you on stage?
About 30 minutes. That's
a long time, bro.
Very fun.
Like total between the two, or like 30 minutes per?
No, I think it's about 20-some minutes per.
Okay.
The full, because it's the full party scene. It's all of Act 1, essentially. A beautiful production, though. Really, shout out to the Baton Rouge Ballet Theater, but we can get more into that later. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints, as the Saints get another big win, 24-6. That's now 2 in a row. They beat Tommy Cutlets and the Giants. I'm trying to think about how to handle this. There's a lot of good to break down within the game itself that we can get into. The big picture conversation, I think, is complicated, right? Because, Jake, if you're a player or a coach and you've been surrounded by negativity, well, you go out and you do something like this, and you expect people to be like, yeah, like, right, okay, great, this is awesome. And again, there is a lot of good in there. The defense is dominant.
Yeah.
The red zone continues to be really good. You now scored in 9 of your last 10 trips there, not even including the 23-yard touchdown pass to Juwan Johnson. So you're improving in the ways that we've said we want you to improve, and yet many will leave this game and still be kind of mad because of the larger picture, kind of how the season's gone as a whole. And it's like, I don't not understand that, right? Because I applaud the improvement. Like I said, I'm someone who really believes in enjoying the journey, and a win's a win. It's hard to win in the NFL, and you gotta give credit when credit's due and criticism when credit's due. And so I applaud that improvement. It's just that if I am being completely honest, I still just don't know if I buy it as a sustainable sign of things to come, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's still kind of just 24 points. It's just beating Tommy DeVito. Like, if we think about what we think about in terms of pure talent on this team, even though overcoming Olave and McCoy injuries is nice, I mean, there's no Mike Thomas out there, but it still feels like stuff that you should be doing. And the only reason why this maybe feels so surprising is because they look so much worse than we expected for much of the year. So as you can tell, I'm kind of like fumbling over myself trying to discern how I feel about this game, because I want to give credit for guys working their ass off and doing good things, but I don't know that it gives me any, like, this next 3 games will decide how I feel about it. When you talk about Rams, Bucks, Falcons, like that will ultimately decide. Like, okay, you just went from Bryce Young and Tommy DeVito, now Matt Stafford's on the table. What are you gonna do against him? But I suppose credit to him for kicking the Giants' ass nonetheless.
Yeah, because every victory in the NFL is difficult.
Yeah,
I mean, to its own extent. Now you've had the luxury of playing the Panthers and Giants, like you mentioned. They've got a combined 7 wins on the season, but still, like the Saints, they didn't really show you that they could ever beat anybody, 24-6 over the last couple of weeks, kind of leading in to the Carolina game. And now here it is. And you laid it out. Like, you know who you have. You have 2 division opponents, and you have a Rams team that's thriving. And right now the Rams would be in the postseason.
Yeah.
So that game looks completely different than it did 4 weeks ago when we were kind of lining out what the schedule would be like for the Saints. But look, the division is right there for you. I mean, you still have the ability, knowing you have the 2 teams right there that you're paired with. And the Saints are just one of those teams that they're bad, not awful. And so, like, their draft choice right now, like, a lot of people were probably hoping that they would just, you know what, if you're not going to make the postseason, or if you're not going to make a run, just go ahead and start to maybe lose some of those games so you can get a quarterback in the draft. Well, that's just not where the Saints are right now. So you're in a position, you might as well go ahead and go win your division, at least have something that you can hold on to.
Yeah. And that's what I've always believed. It's just,
because now, I mean, now you're in a position where you're not
of-
going to get your quarterback that you want, unless you're going to have to move in the draft.
Yeah, that bad stretch though of 5 games and I guess you're right. So you're saying it doesn't. I mean, at this even what if you finish 7? Well, God, I don't want to play that game. Let's say, what if you finish 7-10? Where do you draft at? But you're right. You probably still have to move up. Anyway, and who are we kidding? You haven't done it for 50 years. It's not like you're going to draft a quarterback when you pay Derek Carr $40 million. So I suppose, like, I guess that's the other element in this is, once you allow yourself to have fantasies about Jaden Daniels and the black and gold, then that's where a lot of this kind of new unwillingness to give credit for the win and to almost be like, I want you to lose comes from. But I guess you just have to let that fantasy kind of dissipate, because that's all it ever was.
You'd be drafting 16 right now.
Well, yeah, 7-7, baby. 16.
So,
I mean,
but like, look,
purgatory.
The Panthers, the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Commanders, the Jets, the Titans, the Bush League Bolts, the Bears, like all those teams, like even if you drop the next 3, they're still going to finish ahead of you. So, yeah, you're in a place. Hey,
by going to heaven or hell, who knows?
Might as well go ahead and go win the division.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Okay, that's some good perspective. So with that in mind, then, give me your biggest takeaways from the game if you're in the YouTube chat, youtube.com/1045ESPN. And when we get back, we can talk about the actual game itself and, what went well, what's in it, and what you can carry forward into this final 3. We want you to get involved all day long day. Hit the like button. Come hang out with us. Again, if you're listening to radio, let's have ourselves a day. Christmas week is upon us. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone. And we'll be back with more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com in Gonzales, Louisiana. We're talking about a local steel boys, local steel business, y'all. And they stand on business at Community Steel. There's so many advantages. First off, the price, right? Because they are local, they make everything themselves. They buy the steel directly from the wholesaler. They make the product. There's no middleman jacking up the price for the consumer on the back end. Probably the best part is because they're local, they have a live and local sales team, which means actual human beings you're interacting with that know you, that know your business, and that know how to help you and said business. So any steel needs, personal or commercial, hit up Community Steel.
225-647-2020. That is the number. And when you go to their website, communitysteelco.com, you will see Gonzales, Louisiana, because that's what they're all about. They are local. They can help you today. They don't have to call somebody to get permission. 225-647-2020.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50.
Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hunt will be reacting to the Saints, Giants, and LSU, Texas in basketball. We'll also have Denton Day as usual. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to OTB. James McCrary says we went. You did okay, T-Bob. Scott Dice, 0 Foxhole guys in the OTB room. I know I've been trying to tell him that only I'm Foxhole. Jay Sessions, T-Bob. My wife said, quote, T-Bob was very theatrical about your performance. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I was definitely trying to be.
Yeah.
And then Adam Fields, some of the Saints. Also, can we just be positive for once? The last 2 weeks, we were fairly dominant defensively, and the offense played complimentary ball. That's what we want, right? Well, I won't give the offense any credit for the Panthers game. That made you feel awful. Like there was nothing to take from that. This game was good. Derek Carr played well. The one thing that you could take from the Panthers game is that, again, you have improved in the red zone. You now scored 9 of your last 10 trips, scored touchdowns, 9 of your last 10 trips. So you're finishing drives. You're finding guys. Although it's not a red zone score, Derek Carr looking off everyone and then finding Juwan Johnson on the 23-yard touchdown is good to see. And really, Derek Carr's stat line as a whole was pretty good yesterday. 23-28, 218, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
That's what you expected. The whole year.
Yeah.
Like he's making $150 million.
It's still almost like judged against that level of monetary expectation. Yeah, it's still not. But whatever. Again, take the money out of it, and that is improvement. Like Adam said, being positive for once. That is improvement.
Yeah, I mean, Cesar Ruiz even played well. He graded in the 70s.
In the 70s.
70s.
That's
this is somebody that was, what was he? 66. Yeah, rated guard in the NFL.
Adam also says, I remember the Saints were down Lattimore, MT13, Chris Olave, and Ryan Ramczyk. They still whoop a Giants team rolling with momentum. That's fair.
Well, you go into that this late into the season with almost any team.
Yeah.
As far as who they have. Look, the Panthers are 30th in total offense, and the New York Giants are 31st in total offense. So, those are games that you should. And credit to the Saints. They did. They went out there, and they held them, to a low point total where you could go out there and you could find a way offensively to score some points and get some wins. We expect this team to do that. So, yes, it is improved, but I don't think you're going to get a ton of attaboys because of who you're playing, and you should be going out there with the roster that you have, and you should be doing those things.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, the defense did. If Dennis Allen is your head coach and you still have the majority of your best players on defense, the defense should be the strength of this team, and they've proven to be the last 2 weeks. And they have been for much of the season. I guess it's just times like the Josh Dobbs game, maybe other times like that, where they inexplicably couldn't stop people like Tyson Badgett.
Yes.
Having too much consistent success that made you concerned all of a sudden about, could Bryce Young do really well? Could Tommy Cutlets do really well? And credit to the Saints, the answer was an emphatic no, as the Saints' defensive line dominated. And I don't know why the Saints D-line had to do that to DeVito with the Italian celebration like they did, but they did, mocking the fingers pinch celebration after every big play.
That's why you should never have a hand signal.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right? It's just like Texas. It's going to be easy. Horns down. Anything that you have, it is free game.
It's like talking trash, before the competition, which is the only way to talk trash. But again, yes, you just open yourself up for people to come after you when they have success against you. That hit from DeVito looked like it hurt too, and his head bounced off the turf. That could not have felt very good. And it looked like he was kind of feeling after that. He's kind of scared, hold on to the ball. Saints end up sacking him 7 times. They hold Saquon Barkley to just 14 yards. Again, wasn't it last year when Saquon Barkley dominated you? So that was great to see.
1.6 yards per carry.
Yep. That'll get it done. Tano Passanio with the random 3-sack game. His career high. I more love seeing Brian Brzee get back there a couple times. How do we feel about Brian Brzee's rookie year?
Well, because before this game, Trey Hendrickson had more sacks than the entire Saints defensive line this season.
How many?
It was 13.5 to 13.
He's still balling. I haven't really paid as much attention
before
to
this game, and that surprised me when I saw it because they've been okay getting after the quarterback. I mean, Granderson was the leader, so to come out and to do this, they needed that. They needed a game like this where they could get after the quarterback. Now the Packers played the Giants last week; they didn't have a single sack, and so for the Saints to get 7 in this one, this defensive line needed a performance like this. And Brian Brzee is somebody. He went out there, he had 2 sacks. I think he's had ebbs and flows, just like every single rookie in the NFL. But I think there's been more good than bad, certainly.
He's up to 3.5 sacks and 6 tiffles. I'm trying to think about how to contextualize that, right? And it's from the interior. Remember, we're not talking about and sacks don't tell the whole story from even the edge, but especially not from the interior. where you're doing a lot of dirty work. You're trying to free up guys like Demario Davis, who just continues. I mean, we'll get to Davis in a second. But, Jake, what do you, like, okay, 6 passes defended as well. Would you, like, how do you feel about those numbers? Because how I feel is I'm not sure, maybe it's not, it feels, I guess what I'm getting at, are those successful first-round interior defensive line numbers?
I mean, I think you can see there's something there.
Yeah.
I think you can see a player that certainly has a future in the NFL. Like I said, and just like every single one of us, like there's ebbs and flows in that rookie season. Like I'm just looking at it right now, graded out, poor in the opener, and then he throws out a 77 against the Panthers. And then, a couple of weeks where it's like around the 60 mark, and then he has a stinker. He has a 30 grade against the Patriots, and then he bounces back a couple of weeks later. He has an 80 against the Colts, and then steady, and then he drops back down to 29 versus the Falcons, and then steady, and then he has 62 yesterday. So that's about probably what the Saints expected whenever they drafted him there. Again, I think there's more that you can get out of Brian Brzee. I think he is a player that's only going to get better. A couple times early in the year, he was playing pretty high. Again, those are things that rookies tend to do because he's never had to worry about leverage, even at the collegiate level, playing in a place like Clemson. He's always been bigger, faster, stronger. So all of those things will kind of come with time. But I think there's enough there to be excited about what his future looks like.
And if nothing else, it's more than Peyton Turner's ever done. And it's better than the majority of Marcus Davenport. Even rushing from
yesterday. I swear, I'm not trying to take a shot, but it's going to be a shot. He did more yesterday than Peyton Turner's done in his career.
Yeah.
Like just yesterday's game alone.
Yeah.
He might not have blocked a field goal, Mario, but getting 2 sacks.
On IR? Like, is he on the team?
Yeah, he's been warming up. He hasn't been playing.
Oh, okay.
He's been jogging.
I would say that Brzee reminds me a little bit of a young Cam Jordan, like y'all are saying, a little bit different because he plays in the interior. But Cam Jordan, as a rookie, had 1 sack.
Okay, yeah.
His second year, he had 8 sacks, and then he kind of came onto the scene hard with the 12.5 sacks his third year.
I didn't even know he jumped to 8 his second year. I always thought about Cam being kind of bad for like 2 years and then randomly clicking. So, no, there was a very clear line of improvement for Cam.
And it's similar. You see the flashes. Like, you see him get off of these blocks. You see his athleticism. He just kind of has to put it all together, and I think with more reps, he will.
Like, for Brzee, the pass rush is going to be his skill set.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be in there for that in the interior. When you look at his grades, much higher when it comes to rushing the passer than playing run defense. Now, he's got to get better at the run defense portion of this, but overall on the season, we're talking 67% for pass rush, 35% against the run. So you got to get that run grade up.
He can figure it out.
And I think you can get it certainly where it's respectable and you're not a liability on first and second down.
Good passer.
But he has the ability to get after the quarterback. And so if you can work on those things during the offseason and you want to become a 3-down player, because if you're a first-round pick, regardless of position, you're going to need to be a 3-down player.
On defense. I mean, Cam Jordan is the ultimate 3-down player. He played for the majority of his career. He played like over 90% of the snaps each year. He's just unbelievable in that regard. So he is the perfect person to learn from.
Hey, while we're talking pass rush, shout out to Adam Fields in the chat who says, hey, what about Zach Bond getting some run as a pass rusher? Did so well at Wisconsin. The last few weeks, it's been so apparent that he's so much more effective when he's rushing the passer, off the 5 technique, off the 9 technique. He's gotten a lot better in coverage for sure, but his strength is pass rush, and he needs to have his hand in the dirt.
I think I can't remember the exact interaction, but I think Pete Werner was asked, or maybe like Zach Bond was asked about something different to the pass rush, and Pete Werner chimed in with he's in it now. So yes, Bond's been huge. And then what more can you say about Demario Davis, dude? Demario Davis is up to 6.5 sacks in the year, 9 tiffles. He's got over 100 tackles. He's 34 years old playing that position, and he has not lost a step. I mean, he looks so fast out there. On top of all that physical skill, he's an incredible man, an unbelievable leader. Like, Demario Davis is such a shining light in a kind of sea of negativity that have been the Saints for much of the year, and a beacon of consistency in a year that has been kind of defined by its inconsistency. So shout out to Demario Davis. He continues to be very fun. to watch play. How about Jimmy Graham, too, boys? Jimmy Graham, 3 touchdowns his last 3 games. 37 years old, all in the red zone, too. We talked about the Saints getting it fixed in the red zone. Well, 9 of those conversions because of Jimmy Graham. Kind of crazy just thinking about his story. 37 years old, takes a full year off of football, and now this season with 4 touchdowns, he's scored more than he did in 3 of his last 4 years playing previous to this. So they found something, and it's kind of funny because even in the beginning of the year, we're like, well, you're struggling in the red zone, and that seems to be the exact reason you kept Jimmy Graham. Why not engage with that? Well, lo and behold, it appears to be working.
It turns out like when you have someone who could be a really good red zone target and you put him in the red zone, you can score touchdowns. When you come up with a game plan that utilizes who you have on your roster, because otherwise, like why was Jimmy Graham on the roster, right? He's not going to play special teams. He's not going to be a guy that is a mauler in the run game. No, Jimmy Graham scores touchdowns, and that's what he does because he is a giant and because he can high point the football. All these things, right? So, hey, let's put him in there, and now he's scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
Basketball player. He knows how to score, dude.
Just like Zach Bond, like Mario's talking about, he like at Wisconsin, he was an edge rusher.
Yeah,
that's what he was, and you drafted him, and I can appreciate thinking like you can make a guy move positions. I mean, I had to move positions. I get it, but it's like, oh, I'll be damned. He's really good off the edge. Well, yeah, that's what he did in the Big Ten in Wisconsin. That's why he was somebody that had high value on draft day. When you got him, you felt like it was a steal. And then you're like, no, let's make him a box linebacker. Well, that's not who he is.
Well, not only is he not a box linebacker, the most concerning thing was like you've needed pass rushers so bad. It's not like you're like, oh, we're stacked at this position, we're going to put you a linebacker. You're playing him out of position and away from a position of need. It's just really confusing.
Well, it's like how we always talk about Glenn Dorsey, where
the
Chiefs draft him, and then instead of letting him be a 3 technique, which is what he dominated all of the college football landscape with, they just made him a 0.
Yeah. And in no way is his body type a 0 nose.
No. That's Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
That's a 0.
Floatinati.
Oh, my God. Just massive individuals. How do y'all feel about this Dennis Allen quote? Because this still kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Oh, great. I don't even know where we're going.
And he's talking about Derek Carr. He did this unprompted. Nobody asked him. Quote, I don't know if I'm going to get many questions about the quarterback this week, but I thought the quarterback played really well. So make sure we get that on the record. Like, bro, come on, dude. Why are you still being defensive? Also, do you recognize that one good game does not suddenly mean that none of the bad games happened? Like, do you recognize that you're going to get objectively questioned off whether or not the quarterback played well? Do you not recognize that, again, the fact that you're sitting here gloating over 210 yards and 3 touchdowns kind of tells the story anyway, Dennis? But besides that, I was very happy yesterday. But that kind of triggered me a little bit reading that quote.
That is not a professional football coach
Thank you.
quote.
Exactly. That's what I think that's what it is immature.
Yes, it's very immature because you brought him in. He's your guy, and he was playing really bad. And now the 1 week he plays
like
good.
Like good. Not. I mean, we ain't talking. I don't know. Yes,
yeah,
good.
He played good. And then, like, you're going to come out there and be like, yeah, I got something to say now? Yeah.
You saw those 210? You saw those 210, baby?
Yeah, it's like I told you so. Like, you guys didn't trust me. Like, look what he did. Like, no, like, we saw the box score. We didn't ask you about his performance. Like, we got it, man.
Man, I don't see him flexing on the haters for Groupie. Groupie 4-4 the last 3 weeks. Playing through pain.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Go Blake. That's true. We should give credit.
Headley had
for
a nice
Groupie.
punt.
Yes, he did.
I was like, okay.
Got one.
Even Headley got in on the finger celebration. Everybody going after my guy Tommy Cutlets. But look, I don't want to say it's karma, but Tommy Cutlets was supposed to make an appearance at a local restaurant in Jersey. All of a sudden, his agent calls the restaurant, says the price has gone up from $10K to $20K. The mom and pop restaurant can't afford it anymore.
Ooh,
it's a great way. It's a great way to make everybody hate that agent after everybody fell in love with him and to lose a lot of goodwill, dude.
Not only that, like I get it.
If you agreed already,
if you're popular, your price goes up. But like, I'm pretty sure Tommy DeVito's making the league minimum. Like,
oh yeah,
you couldn't use an extra $10K.
I know.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Now
I
you
know.
got nothing.
Yeah.
I know. And now all it does is give you bad press, and then you go lose
Yeah.
the game, and people are like, yeah,
Like I get like, you know,
you go boom.
Yeah, bad move.
today's price is yesterday's price. I get that. I know your value. But if you agreed already,
The price has gone up.
Yeah.
But then again, and let's be clear, Tommy had nothing to do with this, but looking at Tommy's agent, are we surprised? It shows an unreal lack of awareness, but I'm not surprised that he's suddenly trying to squeeze a little extra out.
my guy looks like the guy on Saved by the Bell that sold them all fake rings and turned their fingers green. Okay? So, no, I'm not surprised at all.
All right, when we get back, let's talk about the other team winning New Orleans right now. Your New Orleans Pelicans. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 56 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corval Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We're recapping Saints Giants from the Dome and LSU back on the practice field, continuing its bowl prep for Wisconsin. We'll have the latest. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to OTB. How about them Pelicans, boys? That LA loss feeling very long ago indeed. Pelicans notched a couple more wins over the weekend. 7-3 in the last 10. Winners of 4 in a row. 7th seed in the West. I don't really care about that, though, as much as I do. What's the overall record, Mar? Are we talking 16-11?
16-11, yes.
5 games above 500 this early on. I just, quite frankly, that again, this is why I don't care about 7th seed, whatever like that, because I'm not used to watching a New Orleans Pelicans team 5 games above 500 this early on. I'm used to fighting 1 game under, 1 game over, 2 games under, 2 games over, and then just for years it feels like just staying in that purgatorial spot. Now, it's one reason why we said that last year when you end with that winning record, and maybe there was something to be said for that, especially considering just how poor you've been in that regard of the entire year. But I feel like now, for the first time, why this becomes so exciting, this is a situation where correlation does equal causation. You're healthy. And you're seeing all the pieces work in concert. I mean, Trey Murphy being back is awesome, right? Like that starting 5, and really the whole team. But right now, it just feels like they threaten you in so many different ways. And you're not going to shoot like you did against the Spurs, where you set a franchise record for threes. I get that. But you are shooting pretty consistently well. And if you can do that, how do you stop this team, right? Because you got a big man in Jonas who's playing so well right now, and he can not only bang around down low, but he can stretch the floor. And then you got one of the best paint scorers in the entire NBA in Zion. Okay, you want to try to stop Zion? Well, he's just going to kick it out, and you have enough shooters around him now. Feels very good here on this Christmas Monday, December 18th.
It does feel good. You'd like to see the response after, the loss to the Lakers. A lot of talk about Zion. He's been playing really well. Like you said, the main thing is they're healthy. At least him and Ingram are getting the reps together, but it still looks a little bit clunky. I think by the time we get to February, March, they're more in unison. Maybe they make a trade because his rotation seems like it has maybe a little bit too many pieces right now. Yeah. But they just need more time to gel. I don't care really, like you said, where they are in the standings. If honestly they just stay kind of where they're at right now and then hopefully hit their stride after the new year, like February, March, that would be the best outcome.
Yeah, I guess they might be reluctant to make a move because I kind of agree. I mean, they went 12 deep last game against the Spurs. Now, the score probably had something to do with that, but we know Marshall, we know Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Hawkins, Daniels. That's 5 guys that you're trying to get minutes to, and they're probably reluctant to trade any of those pieces because of the injury history.
I was going to say, I mean, you're not going to stay this healthy. You have everybody healthy right now.
What
are you going to trade for?
and
Just draft assets?
I would guess.
But I don't care about draft assets.
Like I said, just
now.
to shrink the rotation, you got to kind of trust the guys that you want to put in there. The main arguing point right now on Pelicans Twitter is Najee Marshall versus Jordan Hawkins, because obviously you want to get Jordan Hawkins in the games. You see what numbers he's putting up relative to the best rookies in the league right now. But Najee is playing really well. It's hard to take him out the game with his defense and his dribble penetration.
He had multiple threes in the game against San Antonio.
Are we not getting a little too comfortable though? If we're suddenly we can afford to just look earlier in the season when those guys had to play more, because you're not going to stay fully healthy the whole season.
Not
it's like
this
Jake talked about with the Saints too. It's like we mentioned Mike Thomas and everybody else being out, but like Jake said, he has 3 games left. Every team has that going on right now. It's early in this thing. I would much rather inoculate myself against, make myself a little more injury resistant and keep all these guys rather than trading for draft assets.
I would think though, when you like if you're trying to figure out, okay, well, why would we move players? Why won't we just keep everybody right where they're at? Is because of playing time and like being on the court. Like Kyra Lewis just got sent down to Birmingham because they probably like, hey, he's got to play. Like we got to get him minutes on the court. So I think that's like the fine line of how many minutes do we get a Hawkins, who only got 12 minutes in this game against the Spurs. Like how can we get him more time on the court? Now I don't think you're going to send him down. Well, they might. I mean, that was kind of the plan when they drafted him. But, like, that's the only thing that you worry about, T, was, okay, because you know Jose and you know Trey, and it seems like Najee Marshall, they're going to be the top three guys. And then it's between Daniels and Hawkins, maybe who would be that next guy, and are they getting enough minutes?
It's interesting, though, Mario, that you talk about feeling clunky because, admittedly, I'm not watching super close right now. I'm still kind of watching from afar and – you know, I'm dancing and everything. But watching from afar, I was kind of thinking that it felt like there's like a chemistry right now between those five that I don't know where. It feels like nobody has to be Superman. There's so many different guys that can seemingly score and beat you on any given play, any given night. It's just as much of a team feeling as I feel like even when you were first or third in the West or whatever last year, that was Zion Williamson, like, really putting things on his shoulders and carrying you to it, where this feels kind of spread out to me.
Yeah, for sure. In most games, that's going to be good enough to win, and that's really exciting for a team that hasn't won a playoff series in, 5 years? But once you get to the nitty-gritty, you know, they play the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Lakers of the world, and you have to utilize matchups a little bit more. That's where I'm kind of more talking about it.
All right, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll continue to break down Pelicans. A couple final thoughts there. We'll get to LSU portal in the second hour. We got weekend winners coming up as well. We're going to do that again at 8 a.m. today because we bumped up Nick to 9 a.m. Nick Underhill of New Orleans on football. So look forward to that. We'll be back more on TV next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. Jake, how's that outdoor living space?
Oh, so we got it installed, I was telling y'all, last week, and it's been great. I mean, it's so simple. They came out, and it took no time at all to install this. Remember, this is custom. Like, this is custom to my space. You got the remote. You go up, you go down. You can stop it wherever you want. And I was shocked. Like, I mean, it shades the entire living room, T. And so, yes, like the little outdoor space, it will shade it. But when you put this thing down, think about it in the heat of the summer in Baton Rouge. If you want some more shade, well, you just lower the screen. It took, like, the entire living room kind of went dark. And so this thing's doing even more than I thought it could do.
Movie night. And, like, yeah, maybe you got, like, a movie room, bedroom, baby room, kids room, your room, anything. You want to take it to the next level, both functionally and aesthetically. Take advantage of Brandon Barton's 25 years in the game, y'all. K to Z window coverage, KTOZblinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play. Looking for that summer shade, time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $10,000 off new Jeep Grand Cherokee, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review.
Griff, join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch with the Beau Rivage, the BetMGM Sportsbook in Biloxi. We'll recap the weekend in the NFL and the first round of bowl games. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Monday on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing. Happy holiday to you. Happy holiday.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Wrapping up hour number 1. Weekend Winner is going to kick off hour 2. Final thoughts on the Pelicans here. What do they got coming up? I'll say this. It feels like, again, because, and again, my analysis is off right now because I'm not fully locked in still. But it does feel like to me right now that they seem like a team capable of beating you in multiple different ways. They seem like a team that can finally shoot at a modern, competent NBA level. And they feel like a team that is bought into that team aspect. Like the leadership and everything that C.J. McCollum and even I know Jonas has had some quotes recently along these same lines of that leadership about toughness and being available. All that stuff feels like it's finally starting to pay dividends and starting to come home to roost.
Yeah, here's some encouraging stats. We have a few minutes. They're 500 on the road, December 18th. That's good. 9-4 at home, taking care of home court. And the health is just major. Like with C.J. McCollum in the lineup this season, they're 11-3. Like you just didn't get that many reps with him and B.I. and Zion. So hopefully you're seeing that pay dividends a little bit.
As we said, correlation does equal causation, in my opinion, in this regard. How do you feel about how Willie Green's doing? I feel like there was a lot of negative Willie Green, and not again because it was a disappointing season, especially in how it finished, right? So again, that's how it's always going to go. But what's on Pelicans Twitter forums? What's the discussion around Willie Green?
He seems to be doing a really good job. I think the hiring of Borrego was big. The offense is a lot more efficient this year. A lot of that might just be because of health, but you're still seeing the same Willie Green defense. Eventually, they might have to shrink the rotations, but I would say he's doing a good job so far. I mean, he's still a young coach, so in his 3rd season, you're seeing the growth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, who do you got? You got the Cavs on. You got the Grizzlies tomorrow in the Smoothie King Center. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's the return of Ja.
Yes, it should be Ja Morant's first game back, and the Grizzlies are going through some stuff, man. I'll go ahead and admit I was wrong on the show when we talked about Dylan Brooks and them letting him go. I said that was maybe a good move given what had happened in the playoffs, but they miss him. They miss him a lot. And he made the dagger 3-pointer against them the other night. That must have hurt if you're a Grizzlies fan. Yeah. And they're 6-18 on the season after getting a 2 seed 2 straight years. So Grizzlies going through some stuff.
It's so funny because it's crazy that the Pelicans would be 16-11 and be the 7 seed. But the reason is the Western Conference is really good until it isn't. Like, it's still scary that you have the Warriors at 12-14. I don't like that. I know they're probably not going to end up doing anything, but whatever. Or the Suns 14-12. But, like, Even the Rockets are 13-10. But then when you get to the last four, Jazz 9-17, Grizzlies 6-18, Blazers 6-19, and the Spurs are 4-21.
Still beat the Lakers though. Shout out to Spurs.
Is that their one win? Because weren't they up to like a crazy 17-game losing streak or something?
They snapped the losing streak.
They came back against the Lakers too.
Yeah, and won that game, but still lost to the Pelicans. So shout out Spurs.
Yeah, they got smoked with. How many threes did the Pelicans hit in that franchise record game?
23, I believe it was.
Who's old boy from the Kings that hit 11 straight NBA record over the weekend? That was pretty incredible as well.
Murray, I think.
Yeah, it was. All right, when we get back, let's do a little weekend winners. Get your winners in the chat. We'll get to them next. Kicking off hour number 2 of Off the Bench. See you then.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infiniti retailer today.
I quit. A little juice today. It's the annual Twin Peaks and Coors Light College Bowl Pick'em Challenge. Get your picks in now at 1045ESPN.com.
Do you plan to travel, work part-time, or move somewhere warmer when you retire? At Edward Jones, we understand that no two retirement paths are the same. Contact your local financial advisor today.
In Baton Rouge, call Brandon Becknell. In Denham Springs, call Scott Landry. And in Plaquemine, call Kyle Robichaux.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Monday, December 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 67. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners. Coming up next, Nick Underhill joins the show at 9 a.m. and Holden Mayo joins us at 9:15. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This hour brought to you by Skull Axe Throwing. Go to gcaxe.com, gcaxe.com. And if you're going to date night, boys night, girls night, you can do some team building events. You know, if you're a manager, a business owner, whatever, you want to go to Skull. It's right there off of Lee, right by Mike Anderson's. It's so much fun. Once you felt that deeply satisfying thunk of a perfectly thrown axe, you're going to be hooked for life. So if you want beer, food, fun, and big axes, you want to go to gcaxe.com. gcaxe.com. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
Weekend winners! McNeese basketball in more ways than one. Not only did they beat UL in a tightly contested match, but both the McNeese social media and the Southland Conference social media told UL, hey, here's that extra L you keep forgetting. The Southland Conference even had a post where they made the L out of peppers. It was
Oh,
I
I hadn't seen that one. I've seen the first one that you're talking about.
Other weekend winner, too, within this, Will Wade, because he completely euthanized the NCAA. And we'll play that audio for you sometime later in the show where, and it's funny because Mark Edelman, who's a sports labor lawyer, and so who understands the NCAA and antitrust and the players and what their rights aren't, said that he quote tweeted Wade's rant and said, here is a man, a coach who understands this like as well as I do and can basically do my job. So we'll get into the Wade audio later, but McNeese basketball's hot right now. Big win over UL and Will Wade. They're leaning into the American gangster and everything seems to be coming up Wade.
Hey, Bayou Bandit, is that, I believe, is kind of the...
Oh, is that what they're calling him?
I think.
That's their hashtag, yeah. Bayou Bandits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shout out.
Outlaws are cool.
I mean, it's really good by the social media team.
Yeah, I agree.
That you keep forgetting about.
And I say UL, but yeah, you know, tough look.
I say ULL, and not, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or have any controversy, but like when I say UL, I think Louisville.
I know, but hold up. But you are trying to be a little disrespectful.
Not really. I don't care about
Bro, you
Raging
can't pee on me and tell me it's raining.
Well,
if you're going out of your, yes, you could exactly. That's what you're doing
no,
right
I mean,
now.
that's real. Honestly, That's just why I call ULM, right? It took me a while not to call them Northeast.
Nah, that's what it is. It's because it's disrespectful to ULM if you call ULL UL.
I mean,
That's
it
it. I
is.
feel
but
that-
it's
Well,
not-
and,
it is.
and also, like, the sign on their campus says University of Louisiana at Lafayette. I've seen it multiple times. So, I mean, I'm just calling them by their name. That ain't disrespectful at all.
This is just such a stupid, like,
Oh, I love it every
thing.
time. Every time.
They get so mad. It's a dumb thing to get mad at. But to T-Bob's point, LSU fans do kind of go out of their way. It's just
Everybody
dumb.
does.
It's just dumb all around.
Bro, the Southland
100%
Conference just did.
Yeah.
The Southland Conference even threw their hat in the
Well,
ring.
with the NCAA tournament, which Hunt and Taylor covered on Hunt's show, that was stupid. Like going out of their way to get the graphic to not say UL. Like, come on, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little much.
They put LOU apostrophe SIANA on the scoreboard in the tournament.
They could have added a third L after that bowl game this weekend as well.
Could have.
It was a rough go for the Cajuns.
I mean, it's overtime, but yeah, they lost to
They
Jacksonville
lost?
State and Rich Rod. You're right.
Rich Rod. Hey, why couldn't you have been the Alabama head coach, you friggin' bum?
I know.
My entire life would be so much different. But I probably never would have been Purple Party that, so it was that. You know? It was all worth it.
You're right. You'd have been the lead.
Damn it. All right, what you got?
Weekend winner, Taylor's guy, Baker Mayfield. He had a perfect passer rating in the Bucs win at Lambeau Field, and this is somebody in Baker that a lot of people just assumed was done. He wasn't going to have any more big moments in the NFL. A lot of people thought Kyle Trask would be the Bucs starting quarterback, and then they signed Baker Mayfield, and still people are like, okay, is this the worst quarterback room in the NFL? And he's played really well this year. To go on the road in Lambeau against a team in the Packers, they've been playing really well and have a perfect passer rating. Weekend winner, Baker Mayfield.
So, Peter King, his NFL wrap-up column is my favorite, looking around the entire NFL. And I like how he kind of contextualized it where, on the road in Green Bay, as you said, he throws touchdowns to 4 different receivers, and then he has a 5th receiver in Chris Godwin who has 10 catches for 155 yards. So really taking full advantage of every single piece of that Tampa Bay offense.
They had a fullback touchdown in that
They
game,
did.
Jake. I saw it and I
Fullback
thought of you.
touchdown.
Receiving touchdown, but hey, fullback
Hey,
touchdown.
take him any way you can get
Fullbacks
him.
are going to get it. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
That's most of the time how I was going to get mine at fullback.
Yeah.
Was going to be a little fire or lightning call.
I caught one in practice like that. It was awesome. One of my best feelings ever.
We're at number 49.
Yep. We're number 49. Actually, probably not at practice.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
So weekend
spirit.
loser for me to kick things off. Back in 2010, the New York Jets really had it going on, right? Made it to the AFC Championship, had Mark Sanchez. I'm sure a lot of people.
Is he related to Sanchez?
Why'd you say it like that? Is that the correct way to pronounce it?
Mark Sanchez.
Okay.
Better.
No, you said Sanchez.
Yeah, I said Sanchez. I say stuff weird sometimes. Hash browns, okay? Leave me alone.
Hash browns.
What? Huh?
I like hash browns. Next time, I'm going to make everybody uncomfortable at Simple Joe's next time and get an order of hash browns.
Okay. You stepped all over my little thing I was going to do.
No. Time out. You said Sanchez.
Yeah,
okay?
we didn't say
That's
Sanchez.
impossible not to highlight. Now continue.
Okay, so 2010, Mark
Yes.
Sanchez and the Jets had it going on. I'm sure a lot of people conceived some children that time, right? Well, if you did, your child has not seen the Jets make the playoffs in their lifetime because they were eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday, got killed by the Dolphins 30-0, and they've missed the playoffs now 13 straight years. That is the longest drought in professional sports. The Kings had it for a long time, but now it belongs to the Jets, so they are a weekend loser.
Yeah, having that happen on the day you lose by 30 and get shut out is so it's very symbolic of just how bad it is. And now what? Aaron Rodgers is supposed to return next week.
Yeah, he's cleared. I saw it might have been fake, but I saw a snippet somewhere about he was with the defense and scout team, and he got like a one-handed interception.
I mean, what does he do at this point though? Does he still return?
I think he's doing it for the cameras,
I
honestly.
think it's one of those things where he's like, guys, I can return, and then they get eliminated from playoff. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm not coming back, but I could have if I wanted to. Like, I don't think he plays.
No, I mean, it makes. Honestly, why would you play him because he's still your best hope to win next year? I don't know if you bring Salah back or not, but Aaron Rodgers and the Jets should be good.
Yeah.
Should be good enough for the playoffs still.
Yeah, they got talent on that team.
Hash browns.
All right, I got a weekend winner.
Hush Browns.
Weekend winner to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the Bucks' all-time rebounds leader with 7,162.
Damn.
So, shout out to Giannis.
Greek freak.
Who? I wonder what the time period on those were. How long was Kareem in with the Bucks back in the day?
Probably, I mean, that's still impressive. Anytime you beat Kareem's record. He was there for
No doubt.
a pretty long time. I would think he was there for their first championship.
I guess I
Oscar
never realized
Robertson.
that. I just think about Kareem being like there for a minute.
He also became Giannis. Also, back last March, became the team's all-time scoring leader. So he's the Bucks' all-time scoring and rebound leader now.
Shout out weekend winner, the Cleveland Browns. You could say Joe Flacco by extension. Struggling with the 3 picks, but then when it mattered most, finding a way to win the game. They had that insane Hail Mary at the end. They probably should have lost, but they didn't. But the reason why I say the Browns are 9-5 using 4 different starting quarterbacks this year. 4 different starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and you are 9-5. That doesn't tell you how good that Browns defense is. Nothing will. Shout out Cleveland.
That is...
Saints are 7-7.
That is so hard to do, to have that many different voices lead the huddle and still be. And their defense is really, really good. Top defense in the NFL, but still. I mean, they're making plays at the quarterback position.
Saints are 7-7 with an easier schedule.
Yeah. And they both gave a lot of money to a quarterback, though, that's not living up to the money in the contract. So.
That's true.
And the Saints were going to give the money to that quarterback that chose the Browns over the Saints.
Well, so we were talking about it in break. Like, not only are the Browns winning, they're winning more games and they are better without Deshaun Watson. Like, whether it's Thompson Robinson, Flacco, Baker's having a better year outside of Cleveland. Like, that deal does not look very good right now.
Yeah.
Awkward time to be Watson or Danny Jones.
Yes.
Even with the Giants loss. The Giants feel like they've been clearly better without.
Oof. He's passing out money.
Daniel Blunt says T-Bob and Jake blacked out like they're going to run a covert ops mission after the show. Yeah, there's a lot of black going on here. I have a full black tracksuit on and my black MMR hat on. I'm ready to
I mean, I don't know that I own
do some
color.
B&Es. Where should we go break and enter into? Let's go steal all of Simple Joe's sausage.
The fact that that's the first place that you went to was to go steal some breakfast sausage.
Yes, dude. Some good locally sourced breakfast sausage. It's valuable, dude. And delicious.
Yeah, I don't really want to go to jail for sausage.
Fair. Maybe not worth. Weekend winner, I did not read into the story, but they discovered a shipwreck that is thought to be worth like $20 billion or something from back in the day, an old Spanish galleon. Yeah. We can look it up and double check my facts.
Yeah, we'll double check. That feels like a double check situation.
Weekend winner. Can you imagine finding a shipwreck on the bottom of the ocean? I mean, have you ever looked for something in your room? Like that's small? And then just multiply that by infinity and congratulations, you're now a treasure hunter.
Yeah.
Needle in a haystack doesn't even begin.
No.
I think it's over 3,000 feet deep, too, they found.
Like, what are you looking for down there?
Shipwreck.
Yeah.
They probably were. I mean, I'm sure you have ideas and you have math and you do all this stuff, but still to find it blows my mind, dude.
Yeah, I'll have to do some research. Weekend winner for me, the Independence Bowl. It was Texas Tech and Cal. Texas Tech wins, I believe it was 34-14, but they had a pretty nice crowd.
Hell yeah.
Bowl games don't typically have nice crowds, certainly in the earlier bowl games. But Texas Tech, Cal had fans show up. The locals showed up. It looked like a great environment there at Independence Stadium. And that game was like, it used to be played the day after like Christmas and tough times. It was played December the 16th, and that's probably when that game should be played.
It's a perfect time to play
it. Had some really, had some juice to it.
It's like, it's the same deal with all the families coming out to the Nutcracker this weekend. This is a perfect weekend to do a family event, and the Independence is a great family event. Let's go watch some football. I don't know if the weather was nice, but if the weather was nice, even better. Yeah,
first time in forever. I mean, it was like 45 degrees, but it was no rain, nothing like that. Now it was a late boy. Didn't start till 8:15 local time because of TV. Obviously, bowl games you want to get. That's the whole reason. They got main ESPN as well. The announcer, though, I could tell, like maybe he didn't really know, but he's like, at Texas Tech, it's right here next to Shreveport. I was like, sir. Have you ever driven to Lubbock, Texas from Shreveport? That's like 9 hours.
Yeah. I guess it's closer than Cal, but the point stands.
Yeah, it ain't close.
It ain't close.
Maybe it's not 9, but it felt like 9.
If you're Taylor, you have to break up a 9-hour drive. You can't even make it.
Yeah,
all
we learned that.
I explained that there's a totally logical reason why we don't drive 9 straight.
Sure.
We go to Chattanooga. We do the Rock City thing the first night.
Every Saturday.
All right, I got a weekend loser if nobody else has one.
Yeah, what you have?
I'm surprised it took everybody this long. The Atlanta Falcons losing to the now 2-win Carolina Panthers yesterday in a division where the Saints, Bucks, and you were all 6-7. Bucks and Saints took care of business. You lost to Bryce Young, who threw for a whopping 167 yards and 0 touchdowns. You lost to a team that did not score a touchdown in that game. Desmond Ridder, not very good. You averaged 1.7 yards per carry against the Carolina defense with Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. So weekend loser has to go to the Atlanta Falcons.
So I would say the actual biggest loser in this game was David Tepper. Did you see the stands? They were as empty as I have ever seen an NFL game.
A couple hundred people?
I mean, it legitimately, it probably adds up to like a couple thousand in the end, but it could not. Again, it's just Google it or just go type it in on Twitter or whatever. You can see it very quickly.
That's what happens when you're 1-11.
Yeah, no doubt. No, but even then, it was like especially 1-11, and you keep firing people, and there's no real hope for the future, and you drafted a quarterback that doesn't look like he's the guy.
Yeah, the Saints looked bad against the Panthers, and we were fairly critical the next day, but the Falcons actually lost that game. Like, it feels like it's kind of over with them. They have the Colts this Sunday. They're technically still alive. But if they lose that game, you might be looking at a situation where they're mathematically eliminated. Just seems like very little hope in Atlanta right now. And Tyler Algier had 14 carries in the game. Bijan Robinson had 7. I'm sure they're thrilled.
Sense.
I'm sure they're thrilled about that.
Well, and if you watch the game and you hate the Atlanta Falcons, you would have enjoyed it. Panthers won on a walk-off field goal with no time left in the game. It was 7-6. They marched down the field, called a timeout, kicked a field goal to win the game.
Shane, you mentioned the Colts. Shane Steichen, how about it?
Yeah,
one of the good boys.
Got to be front runner for Coach of the Year, right? I mean, he's got to run away with this thing.
I would think so. I mean, he's got to be up there for sure.
He's definitely up there.
Because I mean, I would have thought D'Amico Ryans would have been up there, but they've kind of fallen off the last couple weeks.
Stefanski or D'Amico Ryans love. I mean, they did walk it off yesterday.
Yeah.
The Dolphins have a strong finish. McDaniel could win it.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, but they kind of started the process last year.
Yeah.
And they've been losing to the good teams.
Well,
like nobody had expectations.
Steichen's been
for
doing
the
this without Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson. Basically the entire season. Richardson got hurt, week 3? Jonathan Taylor's played 3 games this year.
Well, the weird part about that is it's a nuanced conveison, but Gardner Minshew may actually be a better option at this time than Anthony Richardson.
Well,
Maybe
Richardson was raw coming in. We knew that.
Yeah.
Like they drafted him based on potential and athletic ability.
No doubt. But not having Taylor and still doing this, very good team. They got up there.
By the way, like the Panthers defense is 3rd in the NFL. So like them not giving up the points, like that's not that surprising. They have the 3rd as far as yards per game. They're number 3 in the NFL. That's how bad the offense has been.
They were good last year, too, under Wilkes, so that has to be incredibly frustrating for that unit.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Mario mentioned, like, the Saints barely beat them. The Saints won by 3 second week of the season. As good as the Bucks have been the last 3 weeks, they beat the Panthers by 3 points. Like, their defense is keeping them in the games.
Okay, last weekend loser here. The Cowboys. I mean, Dak for MVP. Nope. 31-10. Buffalo makes it look easy. To be clear, I mean, they're not really losers necessarily, but it does show you how quickly life changes in the NFL. One weekend, you can't be stopped. Everything, you might be the best team in the league, and then you just get absolutely manhandled by a Buffalo team that was thought to be kind of struggling and or dead just a couple of weeks ago. Joe Brady, weekend winner.
Weekend winner, all of the Bolt fans that were hoping, praying, wishing that Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco would go somewhere else. They got beat 63-21.
Oh, I forgot we haven't been on air since
the Raiders.
Yeah.
You should never get beat that bad in the NFL, but certainly not by a 5-8 Raiders team with an interim head coach who maybe they actually give the interim head coach the title this year like they should have with Rich. And everybody had to go. And it probably was going to take something like that. So I'm actually glad that it happened because Brandon Staley, we liked you for a little bit, but then, look, you were a D3 defensive coordinator like 8 years ago, and it kind of showed. Tom Telesco, you've given the wrong people money for a long time. You've left us scratching our heads in some of these draft choices. It really happened from the moment you got there. So you had to go too. So good riddance to both of them.
I just love that due to the nature of that loss, they definitely knew at halftime they were fired.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, ugh.
Also, franchise.
I guess it's kind of freeing in a way. You got in the second half, you're like, whatever. I'll just call plays. Doesn't matter.
Franchise record for the Raiders, most points in a single game. They set a franchise record.
Well, I mean, look, it's Aiden O'Connell.
Exactly.
How are you supposed to stop Aiden O'Connell?
Yeah, he threw, 5 touchdown passes in the first half? Yeah.
It's not really Staley's fault. It's Aiden O'Connell and Devontae Adams still there?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Aiden O'Connell and Devontae Adams. What are you going to do?
Josh Jacobs didn't even play in the game. And Nook points out in the huddle, that's a long time ago, before chat, that last week, remember the Raiders got beat 3-0 by the Vikings.
Hey, life changes the NFL fast. All right, when we get back, more OTB. Let's get into some of this Pirtle news next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Quote online, pure-restoration.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hunt will be reacting to the Saints, Giants, and LSU, Texas in basketball. We'll also have Denton Day as usual. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime and jingle bells.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
To go gliding in the one-horse sleigh.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. OTB. Samuel Ayers raised a very good point. He said Joe Brady didn't win the game for the Bills. We all know it was Steve Ensminger. True.
Shout out Slinger.
Big true. One team that we did not include in weekend winners, but we probably could have. And we'll get into LSU portal news in a minute. But have y'all seen what Ole Miss is doing right now?
In the weekend winner. We can talk about it.
Come on now. Why? You don't think you'd be proclaiming weekend winner if the LSU staff had done something like this?
Yeah, but we're not doing a show in Jackson. We're doing it in Baton Rouge, so we can pick and choose.
Okay.
Jackson, Louisiana?
No. I was trying to think of a city that was.
Do you know how to say Princely's last name? I need to look it up for you. I keep doing that.
No, that's why you say edge rusher from Florida.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll learn by other stuff today. But right now, if you look at this Ole Miss transfer, and understand this is an Ole Miss team that already this year is very good. Now, granted, LSU should have beaten them, having a 9-point lead with 7 or 8 minutes left in that game. The most disappointing loss of the entire season. Even should have beat him because Jay Daniels put that ball in Chris Holden's hand in the end zone somehow against all odds. But Ole Miss, 10-2, chance to win 11 games for the first time in school history, and I think they need to against a Penn State team that is flawed. Like Kiffin could not have asked for a more perfect bowl game in that Penn State is really good, but they are beatable, right? That's not some. Ole Miss is not out of their depth by any stretch. So if you win that game, it's another, because kind of the LSU win was Kiffin's first see, I can win a big game, and now if you win this one, you have a second example of that. You win 11 games for the first time in school history, and you now enter an offseason where, if we look at the transfer portal, you got the number 1 ranked linebacker, Chris Paul Jr., committed to. You got the number 2 edge in Tyler Barone and number 2 wide receiver in Juice Wells. You got the number 2 interior offensive lineman in Gerquan Scott. Number 11 safety, number 14 cornerback, 16 safety, 19 safety, and the crown jewel of the class from the Gators, you add Princely Umamalen. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I would almost guarantee. But what did he have last year, Jake? I think it was like 7.5 sacks, over 11 TFLs. He really finished the season hot. I want to say in the last 5 games, he had like 6 of those sacks. This is one of the best edge rushers in the entire country. And right now, Ole Miss are favorites to land the number 1 overall player in the transfer portal in Walter Nolan. And it looks like Jackson Dart's going to return next year. That's not guaranteed, which I thought was very funny, as Dart smartly playing the game, Jake. Lane Kiffin, before the ULM game, said Dart was coming back. And then Dart was asked about it. He said, well, let's finish this year and we'll make that decision when we get to it, basically saying, pay me. But I imagine Dart will be back. You're returning a ton. You're already going to be borderline preseason top 10. I mean, now you're talking about maybe top 5. This is Ole Miss's chance. I think their fans realize, and they're all in money-wise, and they're making a huge push here.
Yeah, with who they have coming back, and your top receiver, your top running back, certainly Jackson Dart. And then when you talk about the additions, right now they're 3rd in the portal rankings, only behind Louisville and Colorado. Their index score is only behind them right now. And so they're doing those big things. And now they've brought 9 players in. They've lost 10 players in the portal, but it's who they brought in.
Yeah.
I mean, game-changing guys, and guys that know the league, know the SEC, guys from Tennessee and Florida and potentially Texas A&M. And so they're out there doing it. Now, we have talked about, is this going to be sustainable? We don't really know, if you're going to build through the portal. But I would say Ole Miss is a team that is better suited building out of the portal, because you look at the high school recruiting rankings, and they're 20th.
Yeah.
Ole Miss that's just not somewhere where they're going to dominate, but they can in the transfer portal, and they have. They did it last year. They added receivers from Louisiana Tech and UTSA, and that boded well for them. And Jackson Dart was a transfer. So they have really done a nice job in the portal identifying who they needed, and then they've gone out and just got guys. They've gotten, linebacker from Arkansas. It is players that every team is kind of, putting a filler out there and trying to gauge their interest. And so I have no doubt if they beat Penn State in this New Year's Six bowl game, they will be on the edge of being a preseason top 5 football team. And again, it's not even done. They potentially could get the top player that is left in the portal. So this is how this roster, as long as Lane Kiffin's there and the rules are the same, this is how they're going to build themselves.
And so apparently too, from what I have heard, Ole Miss has a lot more money to spend than I ever would have thought. And it's because, as I understand LSU's situation, they have the big money guys. There's just no grassroots buy-ins, no fans are donating or anything like that. Whereas Ole Miss, they have whatever big money guys have as well, but then they have a ton of grassroots fan buy-in, which does make sense, right? We all know Ole Miss is a school where a ton of wealthy kids go to begin with, and then they end up all becoming financial guys that continue to be wealthy. And this is their push to try and be relevant. This is the time to invest if you want to go for it. And it looks like, they're committing to spending their money in the portals at a high school, which also makes sense to me, because you are buying known commodities over paying somebody that you think may end up being good. Now, as Jake said, sustainability is definitely a question, because you have to do this year after year after year. But I completely understand why all parties involved would be all in on trying to make 2024 everything it can be, considering what a bounce back 2023 was after the just utter collapse of 22.
So On3 does a really nice job of kind of putting together what they think you have in NIL value, and they adjust it, depending on maybe what's going on. And Ole Miss right now, $6.8 million is what they have to spend in NIL, and that's with an adjustment of $1.5 million going their way. And so, if you're wondering, well, what's that number compared to some others or some other schools that are similar? Missouri's $4.4 million, Kentucky $2.9 million, South Carolina $5.4 million, the Auburn Tigers $5.6 million, Arkansas $2.9 million. Now, when you go down the list, you get to Alabama, $16.8 million, Florida State $10 million, LSU $10.1 million.
You have LSU 10.1?
10.1.
Bigger number than I've heard.
Oklahoma 9.2. So Ole Miss is climbing. Texas, $20 million.
That's kind of funny, though, because those numbers seem a bit all over the place. Again, a couple of those are incongruous with what what I've been told, but it's all the Wild West. Who knows what's true or what's not? But I think what you can say is true is Ole Miss right now. I don't know if it'll last forever, but they have more to spin right now than you would think. All right, when we get back here, let's talk about LSU's portal. Guys leaving, guys coming in. Does it matter? Break it down next. Here at OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. My oldest sister was in town, and we were driving by Gordon's offices. She was like, man, there is a lot going on right there. Have you seen? I mean, Jake, we've had the inflatables debate here. Have you seen the Gordon inflatables? There are a million of them. There's giant dogs, giant Santas. Like, it is actually insane, the Christmas decorations at Gordon right now. So get in the spirit. Get somebody's going to fight for you. Get Gordon, get it done.
Yeah, I try to tell y'all, you know?
Yeah.
Just more inflatables, the better.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, because everyone loves them. And so
I got none of my own.
Go drive by. Well, Grinch. Go drive by and you can see that. Also, go visit the website, getgordon.com, where you can find a list of cases that they can handle for you, past client results. All that information is right there, as you always know, at Get Gordon on social media. Area code Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford is taking $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford Expedition. $15,000 off new Ford Expedition. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We're recapping Saints Giants from the Dome and LSU back on the practice field, continuing its bold prep for Wisconsin. We'll have the latest. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Mariah, the queen of the season, bringing you back. Y'all thought Saints-Falcons, or excuse me. Y'all thought Saints-Giants tickets going for $1 were bad? You could get a ticket to Falcons-Panthers yesterday for 45 cents. Not even 50. If you had 2 quarters, you could have a nickel left over. I mean, I just watched It's a Wonderful Life. That feels like It's a Wonderful Life prices.
Did they at least raise the prices on hot dogs a tad?
Right? I mean, it's crazy that you could like for the price of 1 hot dog, you could probably buy 12 tickets.
Yeah.
If not more.
There has to be a clip of Steve Smith breaking down the current kind of state of affairs for the Panthers somewhere. I would like to see that.
I just like Steve Smith going after was it Judy?
Judy, yeah.
Jag, just the guy.
Yeah.
The Jag.
The portal giveth. Well, let's speak about some guys in that maybe some fans would consider Jags. The portal giveth and the portal taketh away. In LSU news, Quincy Wiggins transferring to Colorado. Does that do anything for anyone? I mean, obviously Wiggins was a really big-time recruit. For whatever reason, never worked here. I hope it works for him in Colorado. Seems like an exciting place to land. Playing time to be had. They're not very good on the lines. Like, you could go up there, immediate play, make an impact, and, I mean, Coach Prime seems cool.
Yeah. It's a player that I think had a high rating coming out. Certainly, people were excited about him, but that was a position that LSU really, really needed some juice and some life this year and still couldn't find his way on the field. So, obviously, he saw the writing on the wall and decided to put himself in the portal.
So Marlon Martinez kind of in that same boat in that, I mean, here's a guy who's worked his butt off. He's played well when he played, but there's just too much good at LSU right now at his position, and so he has to go find his way. I understand that wholly.
Yeah, there's actually been tape of him, though, playing well.
Yeah.
I think he's actually a good player. It's just this offensive line was incredibly best one since 2003, in my opinion, at LSU in the totality of it. And so, he's a good player. He just couldn't find his way on the field. He'll have a landing spot, and he'll be a starter.
Yeah, you got to think he also has tape at guard and center.
Yeah.
All 3 of the interior spots. DJ Chester's emergence is kind of the cause of this. Kelly was so high on him, and then remember when the starter went down this year, they put in DJ Chester in Missouri. Now he had a bad snap, but he got over that snap. They let him down. They actually scored a touchdown on that drive. So he was kind of the third team guy right now at center.
How do we feel about Sage Ryan entering the portal? That's the big news.
So surprising, I guess, just because he's played so much.
Yeah.
He's played safety. He's played corner. It's a position where LSU probably needs to stack bodies. Now, you go get a safety out of the portal in Gilbert from Texas A&M, so he's coming back, obviously went to U-High, and so this is somebody that a lot of people are familiar with, and maybe Sage saw that and said, well, you know what, that means I'm still going to be here at corner. I don't think I'm a corner at the next level, certainly, and so maybe that goes into his decision.
I guess even more so than why he left, how much of a loss do you think it is? Because I feel you. It's a position where if nothing else, you need bodies, so it hurts in that regard. But then Sage Ryan was never the 5-star that he was painted out to be. And I don't mean that even that maybe situationally, but watching film, he just appeared to be kind of a step behind at times. But then also, this was by far his best season, right? So you could say that was an improving player that you lost. How much of a loss do you think it is? Not in terms of roster management, but in terms of the actual quality of the player that you lost.
I do think he played better at times this year. I do think he probably put his best tape out there. Was there still things that that you felt like he could do better? Yeah, without question. I think there'll be a market for him. I think he'll, in the portal,
no doubt,
now playing corner as much as he has and knowing that he can play safety. He's also played nickel a ton in his career. He'll certainly have some value. And maybe he wasn't getting the value here at LSU that he feels like he could get in the portal.
yeah, maybe he feels like, I'm improving, but I'm not being put in the best position to succeed. Well, we will find out. I know there's been times where we've been highly critical of Sage Ryan, but again, he did kind of emerge as one of the brighter spots of a defense that was pretty feckless for much of this year. All right, let's close out hour number 2 of OTB before we kick things off with Nick Underhill, Devin Snow for hour 3. Keep it locked off the bench.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. Remember, right now, the Toyotathon is going on, so you're going to want to check that out. Also, I want to remind you about the Body Shop, okay? You get lifetime warranty on the work done therein. You get free estimates. They're conveniently located right there on Airline in Goodwood. Insurance claims are welcome. They have the shuttle service, so they'll drop you off, pick you back up. You got factory parts right there on site and rental cars right there on site. So if it is a bigger job and you need a rental, they got you. Miss Lee Sessions going to get you right. But make sure you use this when you go into the Body Shop. If you mention OTB, T-Bob, Hester, ESPN, any of it, you know, $100 put towards that deductible, okay? $100. So hammer that. Help the boys out. If you go into the Body Shop, mention Off the Bench and get $100 off. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $10,000 off new Jeep Grand Cherokee, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is #1, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have...
Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch with the Beau Rivage, the BetMGM Sportsbook in Biloxi. We'll recap the weekend in the NFL and the first round of bowl games. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 11:30 The Tiger.
Anybody watch any Christmas movies this weekend?
Not really.
Y'all just hate Christmas?
I did. I watched Home Alone 2 this weekend.
All right.
I was trying to think of which Home Alone I watched, but it was two.
They're similar plot-wise.
Well, and they also, most of the time, they come on back-to-back. Like, if you see them on, like, Freeform or something, so I couldn't remember.
I don't watch live television. That's wild. You watch just, like, Freeform?
No,
just
I mean...
raw dogging on the cable?
So, I have Fubo, and it has, like, all the sports channels. You can watch movies on it, but it also has live TV, and I was just scrolling through, saw it on, so I clicked it.
No, I have Hulu Live TV as well. I never, unless if it's not sports, I'm not.
No, I
watching
usually
TV
don't
live.
either. I just happened to be scrolling, and I was like, I've seen Home Alone 2 in a while, and it was about to start, so I watched it.
I haven't surfed the channels in years.
You don't get the TV guide anymore and go through it and see what's coming on?
That's yeah.
Have not done that in a hot minute. I did watch It's a Wonderful Life this weekend. It's as amazing as ever.
Do you remember when like the guide channel, the TV guide channel itself,
Yeah.
like came out? And it's like, wait a minute, so I can just go to this channel. It tells me what's coming on here in the next couple of hours.
Yeah, but I hated when I like missed the channel I was looking for and I had to wait for it to loop all the way back around.
you did.
Come on, man, hurry up.
Y'all been to any good Christmas parties besides our company party?
Yeah, that was fun actually. Company party was very fun. I think everybody got a little.
You got deep in it?
Yeah. Made my wife drive. She
That's
wasn't
what's up.
drinking.
That's what's up. Sorry I couldn't make it. but
Yeah,
seemed
what
fun.
happened again?
What?
What happened? Why couldn't you
Why
make it?
couldn't I make it? Oh, I had something to do. I had a banquet. to go to.
What was it? And then I went to Saturday. I went to Teddy Bear Tea at the World War II
Oh,
Museum.
yeah, how was that?
That was a lot of
Bobby was very intrigued by that because you came on with us Friday and you talked about it. And so Carpenter's like, wait a minute, what is this? And the World War II Museum. And so I had to tell him all about the next segment.
They have the victory bells that, sing carols and everything. They got Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, all that good stuff. It was, it's just great event for the kids and fun for the parents as well. I don't know. It was a great Christmas spirit. Man, It's a Wonderful Life. It's an awesome movie, though. Nookie says he just tripped over a 10-part It's a Wonderful Life podcast. Okay, called George Bailey's Never Born. I'll have to check that out. Lars Culver says Billy Bailey should have been arrested for losing that money. Nookie says that Uncle Billy ended up hanging himself in the first draft of the movie.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
You've still never seen It's a Wonderful
I
Life?
still don't think I've ever seen it.
Bro.
I don't think.
What we do?
Not seeing It's a Wonderful Life.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, you love old stuff.
No, I know.
The classics.
I know.
There's nothing more classic than a movie literally made. I believe it was made in the 1930s. Check me on that. Maybe it was early. No. It had to be 50s because it has World War II in it. So maybe late 40s, early 50s. But it's so good, dude. It essentially feels like time travel at certain points watching it. But it's a wonderful tale that speaks to basically, I mean, you would appreciate it. George Bailey.
Well, tell me.
I mean, it's.
Don't spoil the 80-year-old movie for me.
It's just it's a story about grit,
I
selflessness.
know. I'm all about it. I just haven't sat down and
sacrifice,
watched it.
Foregoing your own desires for those of those around you. It's a beautiful, timeless tale in that regard. Like there's no way to watch that movie and you can't come out having learned some valuable insight in how you should operate on this earth. Ryan Smith was made in 1946. Chris says 1947.
Either way, we're talking, I mean, close to 80 years. I mean, not
Crazy.
exactly, but.
And the story feels more relevant now than ever in a lot of ways. Although, unfortunately, if you look around you today, it certainly feels like the Potters won and not the Baileys. But still worth a watch. Noogie says, I watched a Hallmark movie where Lacey Chabert was a big city girl devoted to her career, goes to a small town home to visit her home and meets her old boyfriend. A misunderstanding occurs, but they still end up together.
I've seen that one.
Lars says Jake will cry like a baby at the end. Yeah, try not to tear up at the end if it's one of our life. Very hard. Ryan Smith, T-Bob, do you watch with or without color? Prime has color. I've seen the color. I've never watched it. I think I should just to research purposes, but the black and white is so beautiful and how it's lit and shot that I wonder if it translates once you watch it in color. We'll see.
I don't know. I've enjoyed the World War II stuff where they've put color to it.
It's true. And I love They Shall Not Grow Old.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson had the World War I footage.
Yeah.
All right, Nick Underhill coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Go to RejuveMeMedical.com today, y'all, and go get your labs drawn. Go set up an appointment. Get that free consultation where, again, they're going to draw your labs. You're going to figure out exactly what's going on in your body, and they're going to customize a plan for you. And I don't care if it's andropause, menopause, facial aging, mood and memory problems, insomnia, weight gain, workouts not getting you the return that they normally do, any of this, okay? All these are the effects of untreated aging. Treat that aging with Rejuve Me. Maybe it's HRT, maybe it's semaglutide, maybe it's not, maybe it's just B vitamin shots, whatever it is, there's something there for you. Go to RejuveMeMedical.com.
Yeah, on the website, you can find all the information, all the things they can help you with, but you also can get the consultation set up. So like T-Bob said, like if you're going through something, why continue to go through it? Just go get the consultation set up. That gets you on a path. Or maybe if you just have a question, maybe you want to know more information, you can do that as well. RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Bayou Ford is taking $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford Expedition. $15,000 off new Ford Expedition. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, December 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 67. Coming up on the show, Nick Underhill of New Orleans.football joins us up next, and we talk to Holden Mayo at 9:15. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back Off the Bench. We normally do this on Tuesday. I'll gladly interview you on... No, that doesn't work. Never mind. But let's do it on Monday. Nick Underhill of New Orleans.football. Your best resource when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. Go subscribe to New Orleans.football. All the best inside info. Nick, Mike Triplett, Brooke Kirkshaw for the entire team over there is absolutely fantastic. Looks like new offices maybe even opening up from judging from Brooke's Twitter here pretty soon. Exciting stuff continuing over at NOF, eh, Nick?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, we got a new studio coming right after the first of the year on Vets Boulevard up by the mall there in Metairie. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening our way.
Okay, good stuff happening the Saints way. 2 wins in a row. I'll get this on my chest because I didn't even mean to start this interview negatively, but now I just remembered it. What was your interpretation of the chest-thumping quote that DA comes out with about Derek Carr, expecting us to fall on our knees and lay prostrate for a 210-yard game? Like, is that not insane? Like, is that not, like, immature? Like, I don't understand it. Yeah, you're paid $40 million. I hope you can throw for 210 and 3 tons at least once in a season. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Besides that, there's a lot of good to get into, but that done pissed me off a little bit, Nick.
Whoa, bro. Like, you could not shortchange Derek Carr in the Saints building. It was 218, and they will let you know that it was 218.
My bad.
Yeah. No. Like, you can overinflate his accomplishments, but you can't undersell him because, like, that's just a huge set. Look, I thought it was weird. I thought it was a little bit weird. If you want to come in, though, and be that guy and create us against the world and all that stuff, like, cool, go ahead. I support it. I almost kind of like it. Show a little bit of cockiness, have some ego, have some attitude, whatever. But also remember that you're 7-7. And then also remember that the other players on the team are seeing this. They're hearing it. They've seen everything that's happened before, every single time you defended them. So now that you come out there that strong, this direction on it, if he has a bad game, you need to be just as willing to go up there and call it out with the same gusto and vigor and all that stuff, because it's not about me. It's not about you listening. It's not about what we say on our podcast, on the radio, and our articles. Dudes in that locker room see how this is being carried out, and people look at that stuff kind of weird when it's inconsistent. So you got to be really, really consistent now with how you treat everybody. But yeah, I thought that was a little bit, little bit over the top. It's 218. It's the Giants. You had 37 yards going into the fourth quarter last week. You haven't played 2 good games in a row in 2 years. Let's wait and see what happens on Thursday night before we pound our chest.
And so look, and now granted, there have been, let's start to get into the positives, right? So they were awful in the red zone. They are now 9 of 10 on the last 10 trips down there. It doesn't include something like the Juwan touchdown either, as you wrote about. So there's been improvement. Jimmy Graham's been key in that improvement. But after watching the film, what do you think has been the biggest contributing factor over that sample size of 10 different trips to now suddenly you are finishing consistently? What's been the biggest difference since that Falcons game?
So, I mean, look, the thing that I think that they've done better than maybe the highlight of Dennis Allen's 2-year tenure as head coach of this team is his turnaround in the red zone. I mean, they added an extra day of practice to the red zone stuff on offense, and we've seen the results. They've been 9 of 10 since then. So they identified an issue. They tried a solution, and they seem to have kind of solved it a little bit. I mean, it's definitely gotten a lot better. So, one thing I'm always saying is it's like December 18th. This is who they are. They aren't going to get any better. Well, I'm eating my words on that because they are getting better in the red zone. They have found a way to improve there. And that's key to kind of everything that I think we've seen recently. So, credit to them for that. But also, this was something they had an issue with on their defense a few years back before DA was the head coach, and they had an extra day of the defensive red zone practice, and they got much better in the red zone there too. So it's something that they've done a little bit. They've been able to problem solve, and they've gotten a lot better at those things. And then the other thing that I would highlight as an improvement is, look, we were on Pete Carmichael's ass like hard early in the season, just criticizing everything. And I think that he's actually gotten better as the season has gone on, and he's done good at self-scouting, recognizing stuff, kind of getting more with trend. Sunday was their highest total of early down play action attempts of the season. What was it before? It was the Carolina game. What was it before that? The game before that. So, like, they're trending up in all these areas where you want to see them doing different things, all the stuff we were talking about, motion, play action, just these little things you can do to make life a little bit easier on your offense and your quarterback, get the defense to show you something, get people out of position. They're doing all those things now, and I think the offense has gotten a little bit better. There's still a long way to go. I don't know that you even keep him next year, but I think that it is important to, highlight the success because we were so willing to talk about the failure. So Carmichael, I think, has turned things around a little bit.
Hey, earlier we were talking about Bryan Bresee and maybe his rookie season. He has a big game on Sunday, and I want to get your thoughts because maybe it's because of Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner and even now Isaiah Foskey, and you've had like a lot of misses when it comes to first-round defensive linemen. So, like, when you assess his play so far in his rookie season, kind of how do you lay out what he's been able to do, some ebbs and flows, but how do you see his rookie year going?
I think he's had a pretty good rookie year. I mean, look, I think the thing that I think is different between Bresee and like Davenport and Peyton Turner is that they drafted Bresee and he was a guy with actual pedigree, and the other guys, they were like trying to project pedigree, I guess. So I'm not surprised that he's coming in and had some success. I mean, everybody kind of knows his story in college. His sister passed away. He had a bunch of health issues. Just kind of never really lived up to the full expectation of what he could be because there was all this adversity, and then the adversity goes away and you see the player just kind of showing up now. So yeah, look, I think he's done well. I mean, there's been times where I thought it could be a little bit more impactful, a little bit more pressure, but overall, I think he's been kind of consistent. And I really like some of the stuff they've done with the pass rush the last 2 weeks. The biggest difference, you're seeing some blitz for sure. They blitzed 10 times this week, but it was like a middle of the road game for blitzing. Last week they blitzed 20 times, which was a season high. Two rookie quarterbacks, you can kind of attack them a little bit more and get away with some stuff. But the big difference is that on third downs, a lot of times they play 3 down defensive linemen. The last 2 weeks they went to 4, and I think you're getting better rush lanes and you're just getting better matchups by doing that instead of kind of having guys being set up to be double teamed in a lot of situations. So it's kind of freed people up a little bit. Bresee had a cleanup sack. Tano had a cleanup sack. Like, there was just a handful of things that just kind of happened because they were just rushing a different way, and I think you see the results there. 7 sacks. I think 3 of them came on blitzes, and the other 4 were just kind of with the 4-man front. So they've kind of started to open things up a little bit there. And I think, you're seeing the results. Getting Zach Bond involved in the pass rush, I think, has been kind of key to that too. There's a couple plays where he didn't get the sacks, but he set one up by squeezing DeVito up in the pocket on one. So yeah, I mean, look, they're making plays, but yeah, Bresee is definitely showing up, and that's a hit in the draft. They need a lot more hits in the draft because I think if you kind of look at some of the issues they're having, and then you go back and look at the draft history since 2018, there's a correlation between the number of misses and kind of where the holes are on the team right now. And him being good, I think is huge. And, I think you still need to see a little bit more, but he's definitely heading in the right direction.
You mentioned Bond, and Jake talked about this earlier, but, I mean, adding him to that pass rush, like, doesn't Jake was kind of asking, like, why did it take so long? Like, that's what he was known for in college. Like yeah, it kind of makes sense that he would be flourishing there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the pedigree of what they want out of their pass rushers. They want these guys that can stop the run first, and then you're able to rush the passer. They don't like speed rushers for whatever reason. I think it's kind of outdated a little bit, to be totally honest. I think kind of having guys on the edge that aren't super athletic or fast, like, is it part of the reason why you see quarterbacks kind of constantly getting out of the pocket on them and gutting them a little bit? You don't have anybody that can run them down there and athletic enough to do it. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't get it. Like, on a third down, you put him out there every single third down and he can make something happen. they just kind of outsmarted themselves a little bit on it. And the crazy thing with Bond is they wanted to draft Bond in the first round. Like that, They ended up getting him in the third round. They wanted to draft him in the first round. They were actively trying to trade up to get back into the first round to get him. They were trying to trade up into the second round to get him. They just happened to get him in the third round because that's when they were able to make a trade to get him. And it's just like the vision and the plan, it never fit. It never made sense. But, I talked to Bond yesterday and he was just like, yeah, man, like I've been, kind of waiting for my moment. I've been working on my pass rush. Like I've been sitting here just kind of waiting my turn for this opportunity to come. And, now it's here. And again, like, I don't think he's like necessarily super game changing or anything, but I think he's effective there. And I think he's someone that should be part of that, like get something out of him at least. And you're kind of seeing it right now. And, I think kind of getting him in there, getting Cam just kind of be in the first and second down role, all that stuff. Like, I think that's kind of been the key the last couple of weeks to getting some pass rush going.
Well, and then one guy who is a game changer, he's an unbelievable leader. We all know Demario Davis. Said it last week. It's one of the lone, fun remaining parts of the team was watching Demario Davis rush the passer. He's now up to 6.5 sacks on the year, 9 tiffles, over 100 tackles, and he's doing it all at 34 years old. Nick, dude hasn't lost a step.
We were talking about this last night. I mean, I think one of the biggest shames of his career is that he got off to this slow start with the Jets. Because I think if you kind of isolate it from the time he got to the Saints forward, like to me, but there's no doubt about I think we're watching one of the best linebackers in like league history. I think he's what we've seen with the Saints, like that's a Hall of Fame caliber player every single week. Still is. You're still seeing it now, but like he got off to the slow start earlier in his career, didn't get the recognition he deserved, and kind of the recognition with the Saints was a little bit slow to come. And then by the time people realize he's in his 30s and, he's still, to me, I think he still looks damn near as good as he did when he first got here. I think obviously that there's probably a step loss somewhere, but I think he's made up with that with the mental game. And there's kind of, this balancing act of just winning through anticipation, smarts, intelligence, reading the defense or the offense and all this stuff. And it makes up for it and covers it all up. But he was unbelievable in this game, came out with just crazy energy. The pass rush has always been good. You go back to 20, like he was great in 20 as a blitzer. And then they kind of moved that to Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis was excellent at it. Then it's kind of slow going this year, getting back to it. But I think that's something that he needs to be doing all the time. Like when he's playing downhill, like he's explosive. He has great vision, great feel for how to blitz, very fluid in how he attacks and everything, times it. Just it's smart and well thought out. And yeah, they're at their best when they have him involved in kind of everything. So I think these final 3 weeks, like you need to keep calling up some blitzes. And I think he needs to be the guy that you're doing it with.
Now, we get on the Saints for some of the things they've done as far as drafting, certainly on the defensive line, but I do want to give them a good attaboy for what they've done drafting at the corner position because Alontae Taylor, Paulson Adebo, they have been rock solid. No Lattimore, no problem yesterday for this, this group and really the tandem of those two. I mean, I think this is a tandem that can continue to grow, and I still think their best football might be ahead of them.
Yeah, Alontae's definitely man, that penalty yesterday was just the league needs to like apologize. That was embarrassing. That was the most embarrassing penalty I've ever seen. Like he just straight up tackled him, and it was just a good hard tackle in the open field, and they flag it. It was unbelievable. But yeah, I think he's playing better. Adebo's been unbelievable all year. The other guy too, that like they stole a player, I think, with Ike Yadam. Like he has been outstanding, and he's up to like 250 coverage snaps this year. The exposing of him hasn't really come. I think over the last 2 weeks, he's been targeted 14 times, given up 3 catches for something like 43 yards with 5 forced incompletions. Like he has been unbelievable. I think he's a free agent after this season. So we'll see kind of what happens. I think he's actually someone that can go somewhere and be like a good number 2 corner. Like I've been waiting for like, that moment where it's like, okay, things are going to fall apart for him, and it hasn't come. Maybe it's Thursday night against a better quarterback and a better offense, but he's been great too. But yeah, the corners overall, like Lattimore goes out, and it's kind of crazy to say it. And I think again, like it's you're playing Bryce Young. You got DeVito who, hit a nice little moment, and it was a cool story, but like, kind of what we saw yesterday is probably who he actually is. Yeah. So like they haven't been tested by like a super great quarterback with Lattimore out, but they've covered it up 2 years in a row now without him. So I mean, that's a credit to coaching. I think you want to point to one thing DA does probably better than anybody, and it's probably his best attribute. It is the coaching of the secondary, and I think having Joe Woods in there and Marcus Robertson just adds to that. But yeah, they have been outstanding at that position all year long.
Talking to Nick Underhill, New Orleans on Football is the site. Go sign up, Nick. How where's your belief level at in the Saints offense after Sunday?
What is my belief on the offense after Sunday?
Yeah, like after because I mean, even beating Carolina, we talked about, was still an abject disaster offensively. Yesterday was clean, solid. I guess, okay, if we create a scale, we're on one end, we have yesterday's game, and the other end, we have Carolina's game. The truth of the Saints, where does it fall on that scale? Which end is it closer to?
I think it's probably like a 5. But look, like when we were talking about Derek Carr, like all offseason about, oh, he looks good in training camp. Like he's executing, he's throwing the ball well. It was always with the caveat, like, yeah, but we'll see what happens with live bullets. So yesterday's game, that was what we saw in training camp the whole entire time. And why was it? He got pressured, I think, 3 times the whole entire game. Like when everything's clean and there's nothing coming at him, he is going to execute like that. He's going to spread the ball around. He's going to be calm. He's going to be composed. He's going to find the open guys. He's going to complete passes to 10 different guys. Like I bet if you had callers calling and you said you can't name Mike Thomas and you can't name Chris Olave, name 10 skill position players for the Saints, a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to get to that number. But he found them. But look, that's the guy we saw all summer long. But I don't think you're going to have that replicated every single week. There isn't going to be this clean pocket every single game. So they were able to provide it. Everything was perfect around him, and he played kind of a perfect game. So I'm not surprised by that at all, because I think that's what he's capable of doing. So I think it's a 5 overall. Like I don't think you're going to see what we saw again in another game, because I just don't think it's possible to keep the pocket that clean. So yeah, I got to see it. Look, there's just been too many times, and I'm not trying to be like Mr. Negative here. It's just going back to last year, every single time they played a good game, it was followed by a terrible game. Every time they play a good half, it's followed by a bad half. So I'm not going to come on here and be like, oh man, they're so effing back, they're going to make the playoffs. Like I got to see it. You got to beat the Rams Thursday night. They still might, find their way into the playoffs with wins over the Falcons and maybe Tampa Bay, even if they lose this week. But I got to see sustained success before I'm buying all the way back in. We just been fooled too many times, and I've looked like an idiot too many times, being like, yeah, man, I think they turned this corner. Till we get all the way around it. Like I'm not projecting the turn around the corner anymore. Like I got to see you on the other side of it before I'm buying it.
Nick Underhill, Nick_Underhill on Twitter.com. New Orleans Football is a site. Go check it out today. Nick, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, guys, take it easy.
Take it easy, man. Always enjoy getting Nick's analysis. I didn't realize the Rams game was a Thursday game. I mean, it kind of feels like that's going to tell the truth of the Saints team, but even though it won't have as much mathematical importance as the Bucs and Falcons will, but we'll see. I do know you're probably not going to be able to block Aaron Donald like you did that line yesterday. So.
I mean, Giants do have like Dexter Lawrence and other players, so they do have some pretty good guys up front. Donald's been hit with the injury bug, kind of nagging injuries throughout the season. So now the thing that worries you is Thursday game going across the country.
Yeah,
that's always tough.
All right. Well, when we get back, let's do some spread lines with our guy Holden Mayo. Keep it locked right here, OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org. Super pumped, Central Plumbing. Re-up for another year with the fellas. Love advertising for Central Plumbing because I believe in Central Plumbing because I've used Central Plumbing a lot. You call 925-8552 today, 925-8552, and take advantage of the 5 decades of experience of the Payne family has in this game. The flat rate price, the great warranty coverage, the 24/7 emergency service, the licensed bond insured employees. You can send bios ahead of time so you know exactly who's coming into your home. Bathroom remodels, upgrades. It's not just repairs. What it all is centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, go to that website T-Bob just gave you. Find a list of everything they can do for you in the remodel game. Also going tankless with the tankless water heater. Never run out of hot water. You get home late, you got to shower, you got to do laundry, you got to do dishes, you got to do all the things. And a lot of times you got to wait because you're waiting for hot water. You don't have to when you go tankless. And go tankless today again with Central Plumbing, 225-925-8552.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound colors and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hunt will be reacting to the Saints Giants and LSU Texas in basketball. We'll also have Denton Day as usual. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blixen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Right now, 9:15 on Monday, it's time for some spread lines with our guy Dem Snow, a.k.a. Holden Mayo, live from Spread Quarters. As, I just watched in the break a minute of calls from Spread Quarters yesterday. A bit all over the map. You know, somebody say, tell River Paris to go ahead and drop the boys back off. We going to Super Bowl. Another saying, you beat Tony Soprano's cousin. What are we talking about here? And then I love the last call guy. I was just like, I didn't watch the game. Fire everybody. Yeah. Dev, what's up, dude? How we doing?
Doing good, man. It's nice to have Monday when it's they're better. Let's not joke ourselves. Things are better. So I feel better.
Hey, you sick last week too, right? I mean, were you sick after watching the Panthers game, or?
Yeah, I do. Without going to a doctor, I do think that was the diagnosis. I think it was all Saints. But if we beat the Rams, bro, on Thursday, I'll really be back to a very optimistic Saints fan. And it's not going to be easy. That for whatever reason, man, especially watching that game yesterday, just feel like that team's going to give us problems, bro. You know, they got a lot of playmakers at receiver. The dude that's running the ball for them is really good. And then, you know, I hate the idea of Aaron Donald on the other side of Derek Carr. But, hey, let's see what happens.
Derek Carr's already terrified. I don't care if Aaron Donald's having a down year or not. That man's feet are already getting happy. I feel bad, Dev, because I've always been someone that's been hardcore, enjoy the journey, NFL, win's a win. But I don't believe Jack spit about these last two games, dude. I like, well, first off, 2 games ago was awful. We're talking about Bryce. Panthers-Falcons tickets were 45 cents. Congratulations. Yeah. You beat a team that put 2,000 in the home, and then you beat Tommy DeVito and the Giants, who, as Jake said, you're talking about the 30th and 31st ranked defense in the NFL. I feel like a negative Nancy. I feel like a wet blanket. I feel like what's the old SNL skit that we talked about the other day where the woman just craps on everything, just drags it. Debbie Downer. I feel like Bobby Downer right now. But now again, you beat the Rams. Now that's maybe actually worse some. But beating Bryce Young and Tommy Cutlets, I just don't.
Maybe
don't
Bobby
feel it.
Blue. You're blue, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, Bobby Blues, Bobby Sad Boy, whatever you want to say.
My thing is, I still think if Daniel Jones would have been in there, I think the Saints, you know, it would have been the same results. Now I say that as Daniel Jones
too.
I know, but he also beat us. What was that? Two years ago. I never forget that game. I was livid, bro. I mean, he just had an offense, but you know, I feel like whatever way you put it, the Saints should have and would have beat. You know, they would have beat the Giants. That's just the schedule, bro. I mean, the league this year. How many quarterbacks have started in the league this year? Like over 50.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, gotta be.
The whole league is just hurt, you know. Dude, I'm gonna tell you one guy that nobody's mentioned since yesterday, and I can't even say his name. Chinoa
Tano Passanio.
Yeah, 3 sacks.
3 sacks. How about it?
I mean,
career high.
You want to talk? Yeah, you want to talk about like guys like Peyton Turner and who cares? Because you know what? these guys. How long's Tanoa been on the team? At least, 3 years? Yeah, he's been there just waiting on his moment. Yeah, just waiting on his moment. There you go, bro. 3 sacks, dude. Like, who is Peyton Turner? You know, let these guys go vacation in Italy, bro. We don't even, you know, you asked her earlier, hey, is Peyton Turner on the roster? Well, that's the mystery, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like first 48, you know, like you got to figure it out where these guys are, but we drafted them in high rounds, so.
I just assumed that he was already vacation in Italy, so it's a bit surprising to hear that that's not the case. No, Tano Passanio is great. I mean, I love Brzee. It's as we said, dude. Yeah. Brzee's stats from the interior are pretty solid, pretty productive. It's not overwhelming, but it's a good first year. And again, in the light of who you have drafted recently and what they've done, it's like it's better than anything Peyton Turner's ever done, and it's better than a majority of what like Marcus Davenport gave you. So I'm feeling bullish. Look, there's elements of the team that I'm feeling bullish about. I guess I'm still just a little triggered when I hear Dennis Allen come out there and basically try to berate us as the general public like we're children about Derek Carr. I'm not a kid. I'm not an idiot. Like you can't tell me one thing and just have the world be that way when everything else is telling me a different story.
Yeah, that's been my least favorite part about the season is how the Saints collectively pretty much have like responded to the local fan base and the criticism. It's like, dude, like it's been like this forever.
Mickey Loomis is out here talking about fans selling tickets because the economy's bad right now and they need money.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Hey, bro, if they want to make it about us, go ahead, man. I mean, we love that. You know, the local fans have never gotten so much attention. But you know, again, this has always been this way. This is not anything new. You know, we were going after players and criticizing players 20-something out in the last 31 years. It's been going on for 31 years, bro. Like, it's going to happen. When you play good, it gets better. Any true Saints legend will tell you that. Jimmy Graham said it. Tracy Porter said it in my house. You know, this is Saints football, bro. It's the same way in, like, Philly, you know, or, like, you know, a couple other cities. We're going to get on you, bro. And then when you start playing better, we'll start to forget about it, dude. That's why I say this game coming up, you know, Derek Carr wants to you want to leave I don't want to say the word legacy, but you want to make a mark. Let's go. Come on, Thursday night.
Throw for 250. I'm just kidding. I'll take 218 with the 3 touchdowns over the empty calorie games from earlier this year.
Yes. Well, Dev, now we're at a point though, because you're not going to get a top 10 draft choice because of how many games you've won. Like now it's like fully like just go win the division.
True.
Because we were at that spot like last week, 2 weeks ago. It's like, all right, well, which way do you really want the Saints to go? Do you want them to have a shot at drafting a quarterback? But like T-Bob said, hell, they hadn't done it in 50-plus years. Who's to say they'll do it now? So now just go win the division. At least have something that you can take from this season.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I tell Saints fans who call me and talk about, like, well, what happens in the future? What are we going to do with Dennis Allen? Bro, it's week 15, week 7-7, and I can see a light, A couple weeks ago, you couldn't really, see the light, and if it was there, it was a fake light, it wasn't even a real light. But, you got to stop worrying about what's happening next year and who's going to be here and who's not. Man, it's only one life. You only see so many chances where the Saints can get the playoffs.
True.
Come on, bro. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it, dude. Like, I think Eddie Murphy had said one time, you get 75 Christmases. You get 75. Average person gets 75. Come on, man. We don't want to waste it, bro. I don't want to wait another year. So let's do it, bro.
So I agree with you. Live in the moment, have fun, win games, and then still fire them after the season. That's kind of like where I think, unless I would say, again, to give credit where credit's due, if you went to the playoffs and won a playoff game, okay, then there's probably enough there to say, you know what? No, you have re-earned an opportunity. Even if you finish 10-7, maybe so. But we'll cross. But I'm getting away from your own point, which is, again, enjoy the journey, get ready for Thursday.
Yeah, I see Brett L in the chat. So funny to listen to Saints Home is so delirious. Brother, it's so funny to me to listen to people that live in Louisiana that want the opposite of success. That's what's funny to me.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, go move to Texas. Go root for the Cowgirls.
Yeah,
Taylor.
Freaking Cowgirl.
It's so funny to hear. Well, what you want me to do? I don't know, bro. Like,
it's like, what are you talking about? You're a fan of a team. What do you want to be like? I hate them? No, like when your favorite team wins, it's fun. It is fun.
Yeah. I apologize, Brett. I don't know what to tell you, brother. But yeah, man.
I think
overall,
the only thing that poisoned me a little bit too, Deb, was I had really let the fantasy of Jaden Daniels and the black and gold run away with me a bit. Like I was thinking like this is going to be a cultural phenomenon even greater than that of Michael Vick. Like I let myself. I started to let myself get very hot and bothered about it, but it's okay. I made peace with it. That's dissipated. That's cool. Is what it is. Let's like you said, let's go win.
I think he'll go top 3, bro. I mean, I just don't think that I see a chance of the Saints even getting them, bro.
I agree.
Come on.
I agree. You're right.
Yeah. But with that being said, hey, a Saints worth buying a $900 jacket from Drake? No, but let's see what that jacket looks like in a month. Maybe a month and a half if we get to the playoffs. I probably still wouldn't buy it, though.
I saw that. That's outrageous. Does that jacket come with Birdman? Like $900 is insane. I kind of wanted it too, but not realistic.
Wait, so who's selling this jacket?
The Saints,
right? It better come with Birdman's phone number, or something.
It's a Saints team jacket with the OVO, which is Birdman's company, Drake, Lil Wayne, all those guys. It's really cool looking, but yeah, not realistic.
I mean, you know how fashion works, dude. Have you ever looked at the Balenciaga Fortnite shirts? They're the ugliest, laziest shirts I've ever seen designed. It's just a pure red shirt with the Fortnite logo on the front, and it sells for over $1,000. Like at a certain point,
we saw that at QVC.
I think this was like last year. I looked at this. I don't even know.
Yeah,
if
we
they
talked
still
about it
have
on the
them anymore.
show.
Yeah. No, I mean that's just what it is, man.
Y'all remember QVC Christmas in July? Y'all remember QVC Christmas in July?
I do not remember QVC Christmas in July.
Bro, my stepmom used to just sit. I'm talking about just sitting there for 6 months watching they had on QVC, bro. QVC had a chokehold in America for a long time.
Yeah, I guess that's like that's really pre-internet shopping for a lot of times. That is your internet shopping.
You turned on the QVC and you called them up.
Yeah. God, I miss like those old
QVC ruined a lot of lives. QVC ruined a lot of lives, bro.
Does anybody remember the NFL Bears commercial? Not like Chicago Bears, but you could order NFL teddy bears. Anybody else remember this?
No.
I don't know. Whatever.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
It's very stuck out in my head. Yeah. Now I don't watch commercials except for like 5-second commercials on YouTube. When I'm watching,
Yeah, no,
I'm in
I
a
mean-
weird YouTube hole right now where I'm watching confession, like people confess to like get interrogated and confess to killing people. In
Yeah, I've been down that
rooms.
hole.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good hole to go down. YouTube, bro. That's YouTube right there, bro. It just goes to show you what we really interested in. Like we really want to see this guy, confess his crimes and then go to jail for we're interested in that. You know,
it's hard to look away when you have a 15-year-old talking about killing his mom and just showing no empathy or remorse whatsoever. Just like a true narcissist.
What? How did you find yourself down that?
The algorithm knows what you're going to be into, dude. Why do you think Taylor's feed is filled with feet?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mario's algorithm.
No, you wouldn't. No, you would not. My God.
Yeah.
Just
you got to get on the black web to watch it.
Burgers and bodies.
That's got a nice ring to it.
Good looking feet in Louisiana or something like that. I don't know.
Dev, what you got going on at Spread Quarters, man? I know you're doing pods. You have the Christmas pod out right now. What tell the people they can go watch and find?
Oh, I just released a podcast with DJ Rhett. He's just a cage, and he's a very well-known cage. Just one of them voices, man. You got to hear it. So I just released that. I'm just doing a lot of merch, man. A lot of shipping. I packaged probably over 300 packages this past weekend, and I still got a lot to go. So trying to get that out the way so I can enjoy Christmas, bro.
HTMsports.com/shop. The DJ Rhett wrestling conversation is absolutely fantastic. I cannot believe somebody called Goldust Sting. Sad.
What?
Sad. Also, massive Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner disrespect as well.
Ooh.
But hey.
That's the thing, bro. You come on my podcast, I'm going to test your wrestling knowledge just because that's just how I am. I love that stuff.
I didn't know you knew it like that. You got it on lock.
Oh, bro.
We talking Sting like the Crow Sting or like from Venice Beach, California?
They
Sting?
showed a picture of Goldust and it was named this wrestler. The kid said Sting.
Gosh, no, we can't have that.
Then we showed him a picture of Big Papa Pump and he called him Goldberg.
Yeah.
And I was
that's disrespectful.
Actually that's kind of more understandable though. That's not nearly as bad as calling Goldust.
Big Papa
Sting,
Pump had the muscles though, man. Come on.
Yeah, but him and Goldberg kind of have similar body styles.
Nah, Goldberg would have sued them if he would have heard that. I mean, you can't make that mistake. It's fun. It's the youth, man. Like the younger people.
Yeah.
Some of those dudes that are on my show, 23, 24 years old, they weren't sitting in front of the TV in '97.
Yeah.
Watching Goldberg win 150 matches in a row. They don't know, bro. So that's getting old. That's how it is.
Deb Snow, a.k.a. Holden Mayo, Snow Like John on Twitter. It's RB and Arde. Go check him out. Deb, thank you so much, man.
All right, y'all have a good one. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Merry Christmas, Deb. Another great year with our guy, Deb Snow. All right, when we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com is the website. Go to All-Star. And guys, remember, big push on the body shop, okay? If you want a great deal, you go in and you mention OTB, you mention T-Bob, you mention Jake, Hester, ESPN, any of it, you get $100 off that deductible. Remember, they got the free shuttle service. So if your car's being worked on and you got to get shuttled home, get picked back up, they got you. If it's a multi-day fix, like a big fix, they got the rental car service right there on site. They got factory parts. They got everything, man. The best customer service, best people. So if you go to the body shop today, remember to mention Off the Bench, save some money, and get that great service. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Yeah, go to the website today. Remember, you got the holidays coming up, so maybe you're going somewhere. Maybe you have more family coming to you than your vehicle has room for, right? You need something a little bit bigger. You can rent that Toyota. Get that done today. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade, time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We're recapping Saints Giants from the Dome and LSU back on the practice field, continuing its bowl prep for Wisconsin. We'll have the latest. Join us Monday, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
But baby, it's cold outside. But baby, it's cold outside. Been hoping that you drop in. I'll hold your hands, they're just like ice.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Never forget. The easy joke with this song is, oh, it's problematic, this, that. And I used to make that joke. And then I had a female explain to me the very simple truth that, no, she wants to be there. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. It all actually makes sense now.
I think of Elf now when I hear this song.
It's hard not. I mean, I'm not going to lie, that was my first real time being exposed to it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'd heard it before, but,
Yeah.
like, that's, like, the first time my brain where it really stands out.
Yeah.
You know, today is National Answer the Phone like Buddy Day. As a shout out to Elf, a lot of people answer their phones today and say, Buddy the Elf speaking. What's your favorite color?
I was thinking of Buddy D, Buddy Diliberto. I wish I had a good Buddy D impression. That would be the real way to do it.
I would try, but he's a legend. Not about this.
Today also, Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels' birthday.
Happy birthday, JD5. How old is he, like 25? Stetson
23.
style? Oh, okay, never mind.
Stetson. Stetson's still going to have the
quarterback's played
record.
for a long time. How old's Bo Nix? 28?
At least.
He's also 23. we were talking about this. We were talking about this the other day. I was like, everybody always picks one quarterback, and they're really old. I was like, Bo Nix is actually younger than Michael Penix.
Michael Penix is 25?
No, but he's like 2 or 3 months older than Bo Nix. Like,
I'm trying to think like how old I would have been when I finished LSU, like my senior year. What year would that be? 2000.
No, you didn't redshirt though.
22.
You were 22, right?
I was 22. Yeah, I didn't redshirt, but I went to Evangel, so I redshirted in 6th grade.
Go to Pace Plus Urgent Care if you're feeling sick this holiday season. You need to feel better. Get in, get better. It's holiday season. You got stuff to do. You got to get your kids ready for like 18 different dress-up days at school. And, yesterday, I was laughing so hard. I'm at church yesterday, and I'm picking my kid up, and I'm spying on my 3-year-old. She's playing with this little boy. And it's funny to watch your kids when they know they can't see you. And I'm like, oh, look at this. So cute. I'm like looking, though, and I go and see the back of the kid's head, the little boy. And I walk up, and he turns around, and he just has just the nastiest, greenest, overwhelming amount of snot leaking out of both nostrils all over his mouth. I'm like, my God, you little disease-ridden punk.
Yeah.
Sitting here flirting with my daughter, trying to get her sick Christmas week. Well, I know where I'm bringing her. Pace Plus Urgent Care, PacePlusUC.com. As with membership while you're in there, it's great.
Where are you bringing that kid?
You might go swimming.
That's right. Go to the train
concrete
tracks.
boots on. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to murder
station.
a kid. Weird thing to do in a library. You should go to Pace Plus Urgent Care. PatientPlusUC.com. Patient Plus UC. You will see the difference. Patient Plus. So it's Jaden's birthday, dude. Happy birthday to Jaden Daniels. That was a way of me filling time while I look up this shipwreck that I forgot to look up.
I feel like we should, for at least a year, you get to be a Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it's true. Well, no, I mean, I think that lasts forever.
No, it certainly lasts forever. But I'm saying, like, for the full year, like when you announce him, like I need whoever reads his draft card to be like Heisman Trophy winner, quarterback at LSU, Jaden Daniels. Where is the draft this year? Cleveland?
I want to say Cleveland, yeah.
Ooh.
Cold.
Wow, I never knew there was
mistake
so
by
much.
the lake, as people say?
I never knew there was so much constant shipwreck news. I just assumed that the Spanish galley were $20 billion. They were fine, but I'm seeing like 4 different shipwreck stories the last 2 days. What's going on here? Maybe if I type in Spanish galleon.
Looks like the next draft is in Detroit.
Okay.
April 2024.
Okay. Similar.
Yeah, a little bit.
Similar. More grit.
There you go.
More grit. I don't know. Cleveland feels like it's got grit.
Okay, here's the Detroit stat of the day before we go to break. Dan Campbell's first 24 games as Detroit coach, 4-19-1. His last 24 games, 18-6. How about it?
Yep.
Shout out Dan Campbell. It's awesome, man.
They looked great the other night.
All right, when we get back, more OTB, wrapping up the show, Ask the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Thank you, Acadiana, for over 56 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From the Corval Toyota family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infiniti retailer today.
Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch with the Beau Rivage, the BetMGM Sportsbook in Biloxi. We'll recap the weekend in the NFL and the first round of bowl games. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Okay, so the San Jose is the ship that I'm talking about. And it looks like maybe new video just dropped is why I was back in the news. Because it was actually discovered back in November. But yeah, bro, the video's pretty insane. It's incredibly well preserved. Got 200 tons of gold, silver, and emeralds. 200 tons, with a ton being 2,000 pounds. Right? Am I crazy? That's what a ton is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thought it'd be worth $20 billion. They're going to start to retrieve it over the next 3 years.
Like, who gets, like, whoever found it gets to claim
government. In 1981, a U.S. company, Glaucomora, said it had located and handed over the coordinates to Colombian authorities. And then in 2015, the Colombian government was like, no. We found it at a different location.
Like, oh, did you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of the argument. They're suing them, trying to get it, blah, blah, whatever. But, man, that's wild, bro. It's a lot of money, man.
I mean, why did a ship have that on board anyways?
Probably taking it all from South America, come back to Spain. It was sunk by England.
I mean, that's a liability. You got to spread the wealth, man, in case something like this happens.
That'd be there's something very there's a long-awaited justice about that money going back to the very people it was stolen from.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, if you're looking to gamble over this bowl season, NBA season, whatever the case may be, you want the DraftKings Sportsbook app, okay? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And you already know the promo code. Use that promo code Baton Rouge if it's your first time signing up. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets instantly. $5 in NBA, you get $150 in bonus bets. Instantly download the app today. And then look, for returning customers, they always get great deals going on. Same game parlays, multi-game parlays, all that sort of stuff. You can play however you want to play. The crown is yours, and as always, it's more fun when you're in the action. So, new customers, promo code Baton Rouge, take advantage of great deals. Returning customers, we got great game day deals and boosts going on for you constantly over there at DraftKings. I think our Snaps parlay actually hit over the weekend. Don't remember what it was, though. Shout out DraftKings. DraftKings.com, DraftKings Sportsbook. Ask the Bench, right about Cole, Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Should you watch One Piece? Should I?
Solid show.
What?
Not Dragon Ball Z, but pretty good.
What?
It's an anime. Pirate anime. I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Oh, have you?
Y'all have a great day.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Buck.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected.